Chapter 1: The Signal in the Trees. The forest swallowed the road long before TJ realized he couldn't hear the engine anymore. 1 second, the hum of the transport jeep rattled through the trees. The next, nothing. No fading. No distance. It was just gone, cut from existence like someone muted the world. TJ froze and listened hard. No birds. No wind. No insects. Nothing. The forest wasn't quiet, it was dead still, like sound came here to die. "Don't like that," Jack muttered behind him, slinging his backpack higher on his shoulders. "Feels like walking into a damn void." "Relax," Aaron said, stepping out from the tree line. Their team leader didn't lift his rifle, but his shoulders were too tight for a man pretending to be calm. "Acoustic dampening can happen in dense forests. It's just humidity and—" "Cut the lecture," Ryan grunted. "This ain't humidity. This is wrong." TJ agreed. Not out loud, but inside, he absolutely agreed. Something about the air felt off. Heavy. Thick. Like the forest wasn't just silent, it was listening. Lily adjusted the strap of her tablet bag and stepped beside TJ. "Remember the brief, the first survey team vanished in this region a month ago. If they're alive, they're somewhere ahead of us. If not, we get their equipment and intel. And try not to join them," Alex added, only half joking. TJ looked at each of them, Aaron, Mira, Ryan, Sophie, Jack, Lily, Alex, and then down the narrow trail disappearing into the dense, dark foliage. This was the only known path into Ashvahara, a settlement abandoned in 1881. A population of 173 vanished overnight. No bodies ever found. And now a modern survey team had disappeared the same way. TJ exhaled slowly. "Move out." They followed the faint trail deeper into the trees. The deeper they went, the more the forest changed. Branches curved inward like ribs. Roots twisted across the ground like old veins. The trunks grew darker, smoother, almost polished. Sophie stopped walking and whispered, "Guys, the trees here don't have bark." TJ walked closer. She was right. They weren't wood-textured anymore. They were smooth, gray, almost like stones softened by years of touch. Perfectly cylindrical. No knots. No breakpoints. As if something had grown them deliberately. "Trees don't look like this," Lily murmured. "And they don't smell like this either," Mira added, sniffing the air. "What do you smell?" Aaron asked. "Old dust, and incense." Mira frowned. "Not the type burned for ceremonies. The type burned for cleansing." Ryan spat on the ground. "Great. Haunted trees. Love that for us." Jack smirked. "If something jumps out of the woods, I'm feeding you to it first." Ryan glared. "Try it." "I'll—" "Cut it," Aaron snapped. "No distractions." TJ walked a few steps ahead to check the map. Except the map didn't work. Literally. The GPS blinked. The digital compass spun slowly like it wasn't sure which way was reality. Alex looked over TJ's shoulder. "Signal interference?" "No," TJ said, his voice low. "Dead zone." "Then how are we hearing a live transmission?" Sophie whispered. TJ's blood ran cold. "Transmission?" She held up her receiver. A soft, broken audio crackle came through the speaker, a faint voice, weak, desperate, threaded with static. "Help stuck. Ashva, don't follow, please." Everyone froze. Jack mouthed the words silently. "Survivor." Aaron took the receiver and lowered his voice. Repeat, this is rescue team, identify yourself." Static. Then, "Don't come, walls aren't real." The transmission cut out. Silence swallowed everything again. TJ felt something tighten in his chest. "That was one of the missing surveyors. Or something pretending to be," Mira muttered. Aaron shot her a warning look. "Not now." But Ryan backed her up. "You all heard that voice. People don't talk like that unless something's really wrong." Jack stepped closer to TJ and whispered, Bro, walls aren't real. What the hell does that mean? TJ didn't know. And he hated not knowing. Aaron exhaled and gestured forward. We continue. Carefully. They walked again. Then they reached the first sign something was very, very wrong. A shoe. Just a single left boot lying on its side at the center of the trail. Sophie knelt to examine it. The leather was worn but not decayed. A name tag was stitched inside. H. Dalton, Survey Team. Lily's breath hitched. He was one of the vanished team. TJ looked around. A single boot never appears alone. Unless something tears the person out of it. He knelt down and lifted the boot to inspect the ground. The soil underneath was disturbed, not footsteps, not drag marks. A perfect footprint pressed deeper than human weight could make. Alex said what TJ was already thinking. That depth would require 4, maybe 5 times the weight of a full-grown man. Ryan's jaw tightened. You're saying something big stepped on him? No, Lily whispered. Something heavy. Jack looked at the trees nervously. Heavy like a creature, or heavy like? Sophie finished the sentence. Like gravity pulls different here. Nobody spoke for a moment. Then Aaron made the call. We keep going. TJ didn't argue, but he felt something tug in his gut. Something was waiting. Not ahead. Around. The forest didn't feel empty. It felt crowded, like 1,000 silent figures watched from just outside view. They moved deeper. Then they found the map. Pinned to a tree by a rusted surveying knife. A piece of waterproof paper, torn at the edges, covered in frantic, messy handwriting. Alex slowly peeled it off the tree. Sophie read aloud. The village moves. Do not trust paths. Do not trust echoes. If you see yourself, run. The skin between places is thin. Ashvahara is still hungry. Jack shook his head. Nope. 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 I didn't sign up for dimension-eating demon villages, man. Ryan grabbed the knife. The tree grew around the blade. It's been here longer than a month. TJ looked sharply at him. Meaning? Ryan grunted. Meaning the lost team wasn't the first to leave signs. The forest wind shifted. Except it wasn't wind. It was breathing. Slow. Deep. All around them. Sophie grabbed TJ's arm. Someone's here. No, Mira said quietly. Not someone. TJ didn't want to ask. He asked anyway. What then? Mira stared into the trees. The colony. And then they saw the houses. Not normal houses. Not ruins. Shapes. Buildings that looked grown, not built, like roots woven into walls, branches bent into roofs, windows stretched too tall and too thin. They rose in the distance, behind a dull fog that blinked like heat haze. TJ stepped forward. And the world warped. The forest sound died. The ground pulsed faintly. The air felt like thick glass. Everyone stay close, Aaron ordered. They moved toward the first structure. Every step felt like walking into a deeper dream. Then Jack whispered. Guys, someone's standing in that doorway. TJ looked. A figure. Tall. Still. Barely visible in the shadow. Lily whispered. Hello? Are you from the missing survey team? The figure didn't move. Aaron raised his voice. Identify yourself, now! The figure stepped forward. Just one step. TJ's stomach dropped. Because the figure had no face. No features. Just a smooth, skin-like surface where a face should be. Sophie screamed. Alex stumbled backward. Ryan raised his weapon. Lily grabbed TJ's arm. Mira froze. Aaron whispered. Nobody fire, nobody move. The faceless figure tilted its head, like it was listening. To them. Or to something behind them. Then it spoke. Not through a mouth. But through the trees around them. Welcome back. Jack muttered. Nope, I'm done. He turned to run. And slammed into something invisible. A wall. A barrier. But not solid. It rippled like skin when he touched it. Jack screamed and jumped back. What is that? TJ pressed his hand forward. The barrier pushed back like a living thing. Aaron whispered. The colony is closing. Mira grabbed TJ's wrist. We need to move, now. The faceless figure stepped closer. And the forest whispered in a dozen voices at once. Stay with us. End of Chapter 1, Part 1. Chapter 1, The Signal in the Trees. Part 2. The barrier pulsed again, a slow, fleshy ripple, like something alive pressed its weight against it from the other side. TJ backed up without realizing. Aaron, that thing is moving. Aaron didn't answer. His eyes were locked on the faceless figure stepping out of the doorway of the root-formed structure. It didn't walk. It glided, its feet brushing the ground like it weighed nothing. Its limbs were wrong, slightly too long, slightly too loose, like they'd been bent into shape instead of born that way. What the hell is that? Alex whispered. Mira didn't blink. It isn't a person. No shit, Ryan muttered. It's a memory, Mira said quietly. Left behind by the colony. TJ felt cold crawl up his back. A memory of what? Mira didn't answer. She didn't have to. The thing stopped 10 feet from them. Its head tilted, slow, deliberate, like it was trying to understand their shape, their sound, their fear. Then, in a voice that clearly belonged to a grown man, Jack's own voice echoed from the trees. TJ, run! Jack froze. The hell? That wasn't me! The faceless figure straightened suddenly, as if activated by the panic. Ryan stepped forward, shotgun raised. Stay back! The creature didn't move. Then, it turned toward him. It had no eyes. But TJ could feel it staring. The pressure in the air changed. Every sound cut again. Even their breaths felt muffled. The figure lifted its hand. 5 long, finger-shaped things extended, and then kept extending, bones cracking, joints bending the wrong direction. Lily grabbed TJ's arm. Please tell me we're leaving. Please! We can't, Aaron said sharply. The barrier closed behind us. Only forward. That's not forward, Alex hissed. But Aaron was right. The forest behind them was gone. Literally gone. The trees had shifted silently into a wall, trunks grown together, twisted tight, bark merging into a single massive surface. Holy! Jack whispered. It's hurting us. TJ clenched his jaw. Then we don't let it. Ryan fired. The blast shattered the silence, loud, brutal, echoless. Pellets ripped through the creature's torso. It staggered back, jerking unnaturally, limbs twitching like broken branches. For a second, everyone held their breath. Then it straightened again. No blood. No wound. Just emptiness where the pellets had passed through. Like it wasn't matter. Just a body-shaped idea. Ryan muttered. Oh, hell no. The figure stretched its neck toward him, bending in a sickening 45-degree angle. TJ pulled Ryan back. Move! They ran left, but the ground shifted, literally shifted, beneath their boots. The soil softened like wet clay, sucking at their feet. Roots burst upward, trying to trip them, grab them, redirect them. Lily stumbled and TJ caught her arm. She looked up, terrified. TJ, the ground. I know. Keep moving! Aaron pointed to the far end of the clearing. There, the houses. Move toward the closest structure. The creepy treehouse? Jack yelled. Really? You want to stay out here? Aaron snapped. Jack didn't argue. The faceless figure slid across the clearing, arms trailing behind it like loose cables. It moved faster than it should. Too fast. Mira grabbed Sophie's hand and pulled her. Don't look back. TJ looked back. He shouldn't have. The figure wasn't alone anymore. More shapes stepped out of the fog between the trees. 1, 2, 5, 9. All faceless. All gliding. All turning their blank heads toward the team. Lily whispered, Oh my God, they're coming. Jack's voice cracked. Why? Sophie dropped her tablet as she ran. Because we heard that transmission. TJ's mind snapped a connection instantly. A voice guiding them in. A map pinned in their path. A boot placed visibly. Not warnings. Bait. Go! Aaron barked. Inside, now! The root house. They reached the first structure, a tall, twisted hut-like building formed from intertwined branches and hardened vines. It looked impossible, like nature had been forced into architecture. Ryan slammed the door open, a circular slab of bark that creaked like a rib being pried apart, and everyone rushed inside. TJ grabbed the door and pulled it shut. It sealed with a wet sound. Darkness swallowed the group instantly. Then the room adjusted. A faint blue glow sparked along the walls as if veins under the bark were lighting up. This is not normal, Alex whispered. No kidding, Jack said, voice shaking. The interior looked like a lung, curved walls, arching roots, a floor that felt slightly warm beneath their boots. Don't touch anything, Mira warned. Ryan rolled his eyes. Why? You think the tree will eat us? The ground vibrated under his foot. TJ stepped back fast. Ryan! Don't! Move! A deep, distant thud echoed outside, not sound, but vibration. Something large brushing against the house. Aaron looked at TJ in the dim blue glow. Count heads. TJ scanned the group. Aaron. Mira. Ryan. Sophie. Lily. Jack. Alex. Himself. 8. Everyone's here, TJ said. No, Mira whispered. TJ whipped toward her. What? Myra's eyes were wide. Terrified. Someone came in with us. Jack inhaled sharply. No. Nope. Absolutely not. Sophie's voice broke. Mira, what do you mean someone came in? Mira raised a trembling finger and pointed behind TJ. TJ's blood froze. Slowly, painfully slowly, he turned around. A ninth figure stood near the far wall. Tall. Still. Faceless. It hadn't followed them in. It had been waiting inside. Lily screamed. Alex stumbled backward. Ryan raised his gun. Aaron grabbed his arm, forcing it down. TJ held his breath, eyes locked on the faceless figure. It didn't move. But its chest rose and fell. Like it was breathing. With them. Mimicking them. Jack whispered. How the hell did we miss that? Mira spoke softly, coldly. Because the colony wants you to. TJ stepped closer, swallowing the fear burning up his throat. Everyone back toward the door. Slow. They moved as one, inching back. The faceless figure tilted its head. Then, in TJ's exact voice, it whispered. You can't leave. TJ felt his stomach drop. That's my voice, he whispered. Yeah, Jack choked. And it nailed the attitude perfectly. The creature took a step forward. A smooth, gliding step. Aaron gripped TJ's shoulder. TJ, don't let it touch you. Not planning on it, TJ muttered. The creature extended a hand, long fingers stretching, joints multiplying, reaching. Lily clutched Sophie's arm. TJ, please. The creature's head twitched, reacting to her voice. Like it was learning her. Memorizing her sound. Her rhythm. Her fear. And then, outside, a heavy impact shook the wall. Something slammed into the root house. Hard. Again. Again. The faceless shapes outside were beating at the structure. Ryan stared at the wall. They're trying to break in. Jack shoved him. No shit, genius! Aaron barked. Everyone move to the left side! Exit on my signal. Exit where? Sophie cried. We're surrounded! TJ scanned the room. Walls. Dark corridors formed by thicker roots. A back passage. Not safe. But better than dying in this room. Back tunnel! TJ shouted. We move now. The faceless figure lunged straight at him. It moved impossibly fast. TJ dove to the side as its arms slashed through the air where he'd been standing. Its fingers grazed his jacket, and the fabric rotted instantly, turning to dust. Go! TJ roared. The group sprinted toward the rear passage. The creature screamed. Not with sound, but by vibrating the air so violently TJ's ears rang with pain. The walls pulsed. Roots writhed. The house itself seemed alive and panicking. TJ shoved Lily and Sophie ahead of him. Alex followed, then Ryan, then Jack. Mira stayed behind him. Aaron covered the rear. The faceless thing crawled across the wall, spider-like, jerking forward in unnatural leaps. TJ didn't think. He didn't strategize. He didn't analyze. He grabbed a jutting root, ripped it loose, and slammed it into the creature's path, buying a second. The creature hissed, vibrating the air again, and TJ felt his skin crawl. TJ, move! Aaron bellowed. TJ ran. The passage ahead narrowed, twisting like a tunnel inside a giant tree. Blue veins pulsed along the walls, showing the way. Behind them, the root house groaned violently, cracking, splitting. The faceless figures outside were breaking through. Jack screamed. They're in! They're in! Sophie sobbed. We're not gonna make it. Yes, we are! TJ yelled. The tunnel split into 3 paths at the end. Everyone skidded to a stop. Shit, what now? Jack shouted. Outside, dozens of faceless shapes were pouring into the structure. Mira raised her shaking hand and pointed to the center path. That one leads deeper. Ryan snapped. Deeper? Why deeper? Because if you stay here, Mira whispered. They take you? TJ didn't wait. He grabbed Lily's hand, pulled her forward, and ran down the center path. Everyone followed. Behind them, the faceless creature hit the tunnel entrance at full speed. And the chapter ends on the moment. It starts crawling after them. Chapter 2, The Tunnel That Remembers. The tunnel tightened around them as they ran, roots curving inward like the inside of a throat. The air grew warmer, humid, almost wet. TJ felt the walls brushing his shoulders and forced himself not to think about how they pulsed every few seconds. Behind them, something scraped along the tunnel walls. Fast. Wrong. Too many limbs. Don't stop, Aaron hissed. No matter what you hear. They didn't argue. The passage twisted sharply. Jack nearly slipped on the slick floor, but Alex caught him. Lily clung to TJ's sleeve, breathing hard. Mira kept looking back, her face pale, her eyes dark and unreadable. The tunnel narrowed again. Ryan grunted as the walls brushed his arms. We're gonna get stuck if this keeps going. Sophie swallowed. Maybe it wants us to. Shut up, Jack snapped. Just shut up for 1 minute. No talking, Aaron said firmly. Focus. They pushed deeper. The blue veins running along the walls flickered softly, pulsing like heartbeats. With every flicker, the tunnel brightened, then dimmed, then brightened again. Thump. 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 A slow, steady rhythm. Lily whispered. It's breathing. TJ didn't want to agree, but yeah. The entire structure felt alive. A deep groan vibrated through the roots overhead. Dust rained down. Something big slammed into the far end of the tunnel. Sophie gasped. They're still following us. No, Mira muttered. That's something bigger. Ryan glared. Bigger than faceless freaks? How big? Mira didn't answer. She didn't have to. The groan came again, louder this time, shaking the walls. Aaron turned sharply. Tunnel's changing. Move faster! They squeezed through a narrowing point, roots brushing their backs. The air got thicker, heavier. The blue glow flickered erratically now, almost like the tunnel was struggling to stay lit. TJ's lungs ached. Everyone okay? Not even close, Jack wheezed. Alive is good enough, Alex muttered. Then, the tunnel opened into a chamber. The chamber of markings. It looked like the inside of a giant tree hollow, circular, domed, roots spiraling up like a twisted cathedral. But the walls. TJ froze. The walls were covered in handprints. Hundreds of them. Pressed deep into the surface, as if people had clawed at the walls trying to escape. Some prints were small, child-sized. Some large. Some too large. Lily covered her mouth. Oh God! Sophie backed away until she hit TJ's shoulder. Those are real. Aaron stepped closer, examining a set of handprints near the floor. These are recent. Maybe days old. No. Myra's voice was a whisper. Hours. Jack spun on her. Mira, how do you even know these things? Mira flinched, not from Jack's tone, but as if she was being confronted by something she feared more than the tunnel. I told you, she said quietly. This place remembers everyone who enters it. Ryan snorted. Remember? What does that even? He didn't finish. Because Sophie gasped, pointing at a handprint near the center of the room. A handprint with a dark stain beneath it. A familiar stain. Blue ink. Sophie whispered, horrified. That's Dalton's ink. The missing team used indigo dye for markups. TJ's stomach tightened. Dalton, the man whose boot they found. He'd been here. Alive. Long enough to press his hand into the wall. Jack stepped beside TJ, voice cracking. Then where the hell is he now? As if the chamber wanted to answer, the blue veins along the ceiling dimmed. And the floor vibrated softly. Then a voice drifted around them, thin and broken. Don't trust the tunnels. Lily froze. Dalton? Maybe, Aaron said. Maybe a recording. No. Maris shook her head violently. Not a recording. A remainder. Sophie whispered. A remainder of what? The person he was. TJ felt a knot tighten in his throat. This place didn't kill people. It kept pieces of them. Footsteps echoed behind them. Slow. Wet. Dragging. TJ turned. Ryan stepped in front of the group, shotgun raised. What the hell? Something emerged from the tunnel behind them. Not a faceless one. Not one of the gliding shapes. This looked human. Mostly. It wore a torn survey jacket, ragged and soaked with mud. Its boots dragged. Its arms hung like dead weight. Its head tilted downward. Until it snapped up. TJ's breath caught. Where eyes should be, there were empty sockets filled with dark, moving root strands. Its mouth opened. Roots curled inside. Jack stepped back hard. Nope. No freaking way. Aaron held out an arm. Don't shoot unless it moves. It moved. It lunged. Fast. Ryan fired, a deafening blast that echoed strangely inside the chamber. The creature stumbled back, but didn't fall. It simply rebalanced, like a puppet learning how to stand. Sophie screamed. Lily grabbed TJ's sleeve. Alex cursed under his breath. Aaron shouted, Left tunnel! Move! They stormed through the left passage. The thing screeched, a horrible gurgling sound, and gave chase. TJ shoved Lily ahead of him, heart pounding in his throat. The tunnel twisted sharply and branched into two more paths. Ryan yelled, Which way? Before TJ could answer. Mira grabbed his wrist. Her nails dug in. Her voice was low, terrified, certain. Take the darker one. Jack snapped. Are you insane? TJ didn't hesitate. He yanked Lily toward the unlit, darker corridor. Everyone followed, even Aaron, even Ryan. Because Mira had never sounded more sure of anything. Behind them, the creature scraped and clawed at the walls, shrieking like something ripped from its own skin. The darkness swallowed them whole. Chapter 2, The Tunnel That Remembers. Part 2. The darkness swallowed them the moment they entered the corridor. Not regular dark. Full, crushing, sensory-killing blackness. The kind that made Lily's breathing hitch. And Jack's jokes die in his throat. And Ryan lower his shotgun because even he knew sound could get them killed here. TJ held one hand on the wall. It felt warm. Too warm. Like blood under skin. Stay close, Aaron whispered. Even his voice sounded small. Hands on shoulders. No one separates. They formed a line in the dark. TJ in front. Lily behind him. Sophie gripping Lily. Jack clutching Sophie's sleeve. Alex behind Jack. Ryan next. Mira behind him. Aaron anchoring the back. The tunnel pulsed as they moved. Like a heartbeat. Like a lung. Like something breathing them in deeper with each step. TJ whispered over his shoulder. Mira, why this path? Her voice came soft, right behind Ryan. Because the colony doesn't want us here. Jack groaned. And that's a good thing? It means it can't see us clearly. TJ didn't like the sound of that. Then how long until it does? When it remembers enough of us. The tunnel groaned, low and ancient. TJ kept walking. After maybe a minute, maybe an hour, TJ felt the walls shift under his fingers. From warm to colder. From smooth to textured. Like moving from skin to bone. Stop, TJ whispered. Everyone froze. TJ traced the wall. Now it had grooves. Deep, rough grooves like tree bark, scratched in long, violent strokes. What is it? Lily whispered. TJ swallowed. Scratches. From fingernails. Sophie shook. From what though? From who? Ryan answered grimly. From whatever passed through here before us. Jack whispered. Okay, but why were they clawing the walls? TJ didn't answer. He didn't want to. A faint, broken sound leaked down the tunnel ahead. A whisper. No, not a whisper. A sob. A man sobbing, echoing very softly. Lily's nails dug into TJ's sleeve. TJ, who's crying? Aaron whispered sharply. Nobody respond. Nobody call out. Nobody. Is that you? The voice echoed weakly through the dark. Is that anyone, please? Jack whispered. Nope. I'm not doing this, man. I'm not doing this. Ryan whispered back. Shut up, you're gonna get us killed. Sophie trembled. It sounds hurt. No, Mira whispered. It sounds hollow. It sobbed again. I can't find them, it keeps moving. Dalton. TJ realized it instantly. Hey! Jack started forward, impulsive, stupid. TJ grabbed him by the jacket. Jack! Stop! But! That's not Dalton! Jack froze. The sobbing grew louder. Closer. Please help! I'm still here! Aaron whispered sharply. Everyone backs to the wall. No movement. They pressed against the root wall. The sobbing got louder. Louder. A broken, gulping sound, like someone choking on their own voice. TJ held his breath. Footsteps dragged down the tunnel. Slow. Unsteady. Wrong. Like a body learning how to walk again. Sophie whimpered softly. Lily grabbed her hand to keep her quiet. The footsteps stopped right in front of TJ. Right there. Invisible but present. Breathing. TJ could feel the breath, a cold, sour exhale, brush his cheek. He clenched every muscle in his body. The voice whispered directly in his ear. TJ, you left me. TJ nearly jerked away. It knew his name. No. It stole his name. Mira whispered, terrified behind them. It already took a piece of you. It's learning you. Freaking fantastic. Jack muttered under his breath. The voice shifted. Now it sounded like Lily. TJ, don't leave me. Lily clamped both hands over her mouth. The footsteps turned sharply. Dragged away. Moved deeper into the tunnel. And faded. Aaron exhaled shakily. Move. Now. Before it circles back. They hurried forward. The memory pit. The tunnel widened gradually until they entered a circular hollow. A deep pit opened in the floor, a perfect sphere carved downward. It wasn't dirt. It wasn't stone. It was memories. Dozens of objects floated in the pit, suspended in midair like trapped in amber. A broken compass. A torn jacket sleeve. A pair of cracked glasses. A notebook with pages turning slowly. A handprint burned into thin air. Sophie whispered, "What is this?" Mira closed her eyes. "People who were lost here. The colony keeps what it wants." Jack pointed at the floating jacket. "That's survey team gear. Dalton's group." TJ moved closer. Inside the sphere of floating objects, faint silhouettes flickered, like afterimages burned into glass. Aaron stepped forward. "Identities. Memories. Fragments of consciousness. They're alive?" Lily whispered hopefully. "No," Mira said softly. "Just echoed." Jack stared. "So you're saying this place copies people?" TJ answered instead. "No. It eats people. The copies are just leftovers." Ryan cursed under his breath. "Screw this." He kicked at a floating object, a compass, but his boot passed right through it like it was smoke. Sophie touched the air near a suspended notebook. Then she jerked her hand back. "It's cold," she whispered. "Freezing cold. Like winter." Mira opened her eyes. "This is the last stop before the colony decides who to take." TJ stiffened. "Meaning what?" "It shows you what it wants from you." Her eyes drifted slowly across the team. Lily, fear. Jack, guilt. Alex, logic. Sophie, innocence. Ryan, rage. Aaron, duty. TJ, identity. The tunnel behind them groaned, loud enough to shake dust from the ceiling. Jack whispered, "What now?" Aaron pointed across the pit. "A tunnel on the far side." "We go." TJ, Mira said sharply. "You first." TJ nodded and approached the edge. The pit hummed. The floating objects rotated. A compass spun toward him, its needle pointing straight at his chest. Mira whispered urgently, "TJ, don't look directly into it." He looked. He couldn't help it. And suddenly, the world blinked. He was standing in a different place. A room. A lab? A tent? A survey station? He heard voices. His own voice. Laughing. Talking. Planning. The missing team working beside him. Dalton patting him on the shoulder. Sophie saying something about the colony being beautiful. Jack joking about getting extra pay. Lily pointing at the horizon and smiling. Aaron giving instructions. Ryan teasing Alex. Mira watching him quietly. It felt warm. Real. Like he'd lived this before. Then a shadow moved across the memory. A silhouette. Not human. Tall. Bent. Faceless. It touched the memory of Dalton. Dalton crumbled into dust. It touched Sophie. She dissolved like ash. One by one. Lily. Alex. Ryan. Aaron. Jack. Mira. Each vanished the moment the creature's hand brushed them. Then it reached for him. TJ flinched back. And the memory shattered. He gasped. He was back at the edge of the pit. Lily grabbed his shoulders. "TJ! Stay with us! Talk to me!" He choked out. It showed me what it took from them." Aaron asked. "What did you see?" TJ's voice broke. "It showed me what it wants from us." The pit suddenly went silent. All the floating objects pointed downward at once. Like magnets aligning. Myra's face went pale. "No, no, no." Jack shook her shoulder. "What? What does that mean?" Mira finally said it. "It chose someone." Sophie whispered, horrified. "Chose who?" The ground cracked. The pit glowed. The air turned icy. Then, in the center of the floating objects, a new object materialized. A torn piece of TJ's jacket. Fresh. From where the faceless thing had grazed him earlier. Ryan's breath froze. "Oh hell!" Lily grabbed TJ's arm. "No, no, no!" Jack whispered, terrified. TJ, it marked you. Mira nodded slowly, voice trembling. The colony wants you next. End of Chapter 2, Part 2. Chapter 2, The Tunnel That Remembers. Part 3. The moment the torn piece of TJ's jacket appeared in the memory pit, every sound in the chamber died. No breathing. No trembling roots. No dripping moisture. Just silence. A heavy, waiting silence. TJ felt the cold weight of the moment settle on his spine. He didn't move. Didn't speak. Didn't blink. Lily grabbed his arm tighter, shaking. TJ, don't panic. Don't let it take you. Jack stepped between TJ and the pit, hands trembling but defiant. Not happening. Whatever this freak colony wants, it doesn't get any of us. Ryan scoffed. You saying that like it cares? Mira whispered. It's not about caring. It's about needing. TJ finally forced his throat to open. What does it need? Mira met his eyes, terrified. You. Alex muttered a shaky curse. Sophie started crying quietly. Aaron took a step toward TJ, putting himself between TJ and the glowing pit. TJ is not a target, Aaron said. We move together. No one gets taken. The pit groaned. A deep bass rumble vibrated through the floor. The floating objects whipped around violently, spinning so fast the air cut cold on TJ's face. Sophie screamed. It's angry. No, Mira whispered, voice hollow. It's hungry. TJ's pulse hammered in his throat. Ryan stepped back. Enough standing around. We take TJ and we run. Alex added. Tunnel ahead. Go! Aaron nodded, gripping TJ's shoulder. Move! They sprinted toward the far tunnel. Just as they reached the entrance, the pit exploded. Not with fire. Not with debris. With memories. Hundreds of translucent images surged out of the pit like a tidal wave, faces screaming without sound, hands reaching, silhouettes flickering. The air rippled with their impact. One image tore across TJ's vision, Dalton, reaching toward him, eyes hollow, mouth open in a silent warning. Then another, a little girl clutching a broken doll. Then another, a woman with roots growing from her arms. Then another, a man without a face, shaking violently. Lily screamed. Jack ducked, shielding his head. Sophie dropped to her knees. Ryan tried to shoot the wave, but the bullet passed straight through it. TJ felt hands, thousands of hands, brushing across him, searching, testing, grasping. Mira shouted. Don't let them touch your face! TJ jerked back as a translucent hand swiped across his cheek. It burned cold, like liquid ice. The memories swirled faster, like a vortex forming. Aaron grabbed TJ's wrist and yanked him forward. Run! They dove into the next tunnel. The moment they crossed the threshold, the memories slammed against the invisible boundary and stopped, like hitting a wall of solid air. Some pounded softly against it. Others just stared blankly, waiting. The tunnel sealed itself behind the group with a thick, organic sound. For a moment, nobody breathed. Then Jack whispered, voice shaking hard. What the hell was that? Mira leaned against the wall, completely drained. That was the colony showing TJ what it will take from him. Sophie sobbed, covering her mouth. But why him? Why not me? Or Jack? Or anyone else? Why TJ? Mira closed her eyes. It picks people with something the colony can use. TJ swallowed. Use for what? The tunnel answered for her. A low hum vibrated through the walls, almost a voice, almost words, almost a command. Stay. Ryan backed away. Nope. Not listening. Not today. Lily stepped in front of TJ, shaking but determined. We're not giving you to this place. Do you hear me? Jack nodded. Damn right. Aaron raised his weapon again. Stay alert. We push forward until we find a real exit. The path that thinks. They moved quietly, following the narrow tunnel deeper into the unknown. This tunnel was different. The walls were lined with carvings. Not human scratches. Patterns. Geometric shapes. Circles within circles. Lines spiraling inward. Symbols TJ couldn't understand. Sophie ran her fingers close, never touching, and whispered, "These aren't drawings, these are maps." Jack snorted. "Maps of what? Hell?" Alex squinted. "They're too symmetrical. Too precise. This is engineered." Ryan muttered. "By who? Or what?" Mira answered softly. "The colony." TJ felt something cold settle in his stomach. "You're saying the place itself thinks?" Mira nodded without hesitation. "And it's thinking about you." TJ clenched his jaw. Lily tightened her grip on his arm again. Aaron studied one symbol. "These aren't random. They're arranged like pathways. Like the tunnels are designed to change based on who enters." Sophie turned pale. "Then we're walking blind." "No," Mira said softly. "It's guiding us." Ryan barked. "Guiding us where?" Mira didn't answer. But the tunnel did. A soft breeze blew from ahead. The first natural air movement since they entered the forest. TJ inhaled. Fresh air. Lily looked hopeful. "Does that mean an exit?" Jack muttered. "Yeah, right. Nothing here is that nice." Alex whispered. "Maybe a clearing." Aaron nodded. "Eyes forward. Stay tight." They pushed through the final bend of the tunnel. Light spilled ahead. Real light. TJ blinked, his eyes adjusting as the darkness peeled away. Sophie gasped. Lily covered her mouth. Jack whispered, "What the hell?" They stepped out into the lost village of Ashvahara. A massive clearing. A dozen structures, twisted, root-grown, ancient, forming a warped, labyrinth-like settlement. Fog drifted between the buildings. Shadows moved inside the windows. The ground pulsed faintly beneath their feet. Ryan whispered, horrified, "This place is alive." Aaron lowered his weapon slowly. "We found it." Sophie trembled. "The missing colony." Lily whispered, voice barely audible. "No. The colony found us." TJ didn't move. Couldn't. Because directly across the clearing, from the doorway of the largest structure, a figure stepped out. Not faceless. Not root-grown. A man. Someone TJ recognized. A man wearing a half-torn survey jacket. Boot missing. Eyes hollow. Dalton. The lost surveyor. Alive. But wrong. Very wrong. He lifted his head slowly. And said, in a voice that didn't match human vocal cords anymore, "TJ. You finally came." End of Chapter 2. Chapter 3. The Man Who Wasn't Dalton. Dalton stood in the doorway of the largest structure, his silhouette flickering like a glitch in reality. His body looked human. His stance looked human. But nothing in his eyes belonged to a living man. Where pupils should have been, there was only a swirl of thin black roots, twisting constantly, drifting like smoke trapped in water. He stepped forward. Barefoot. Dragging one leg. A wet sound accompanied each step, not squishing mud, but something moving inside his skin. Sophie whispered, How is he alive?" Mira answered without looking away. "He isn't." Lily squeezed TJ's arm, voice trembling. "TJ, don't go near him. Don't listen to him." Jack stepped front left, putting himself between Dalton and the group. "Okay, buddy, you stay back. You ain't greeting us with those demon eyeballs." Dalton's head snapped toward Jack so fast it cracked. Then, he spoke TJ's name again. "TJ." But this time, it wasn't a greeting. It was a summons. Aaron raised his weapon. "Dalton! If you're alive, say something only a surveyor would know." Dalton lifted his arm. And the roots in his eyes expanded, filling the sockets completely. His mouth opened wider than it should, stretching, splitting at the sides like the skin didn't belong to him. And in a wet, layered voice, multiple voices overlapping, he said, "He belongs to us." TJ felt his heart slam in his chest. Ryan snarled, stepping forward with the shotgun. Hell he does! He fired. The blast hit Dalton square in the torso. Dalton staggered backward, but didn't fall. Instead, his torso rippled. The shotgun pellets slid beneath his skin like metal swallowed by sand. Then Dalton straightened, grabbed his own ribs, and pulled them wider as if opening a curtain. Jack gagged. Sophie screamed. Lily stumbled. Myra's voice broke. Run! Dalton's chest cavity opened completely, and a swirling mass of black roots erupted outward. Not attacking. Not reaching. Pointing. Toward TJ. Dalton's head jerked at a sickening angle, almost upside down, as he whispered, Come back! Your footsteps were here before. TJ froze. What? He whispered. What does that mean? Aaron grabbed his arm. Don't listen. Dalton took one more dragging step forward. And the ground reacted. The entire clearing shivered. Roots burst from the soil. Trees bowed inward like they were being pulled by a gravitational force centered on TJ. The colony wasn't just alive. It was focusing. On him. Alex shouted, TJ, move! But TJ couldn't. Not because he was scared, though he was. But because he remembered something. A flash. A moment. Him months ago, reviewing old maps of Ashvahara. A strange symbol circled. A scribbled note he didn't remember writing. Do not enter alone. But he wasn't alone. So why? Dalton whispered again, louder. You were here. And TJ felt the air collapse around him. That's not possible. Jack muttered. He's screwing with your head. Ryan pumped the shotgun again. I'll shut him up. No. Mira grabbed the barrel. Don't shoot again. Every shot just makes it stronger. Ryan glared. How the hell would you know? Dalton screamed. Not a human scream. Not even close. The colony screamed through him. The sound tore through the clearing like a shockwave. Roots burst from the ground like spears. One slammed into the dirt inches from TJ's foot. Aaron shouted, Move! Now! The group sprinted left, toward a narrow path between two twisted buildings. Dalton's body contorted violently as he turned to follow. Joints bending the wrong way, spines snapping and realigning with cracking sounds that echoed through the entire clearing. Sophie shrieked. It's chasing us! Lily pulled TJ forward. Run, TJ! IT wants you! They sprinted into the gap between buildings. Dalton crashed after them, slamming against the sides, bending wood and root like wet clay. Jack yelled, Turn here! They darted into a smaller alley between two root-woven huts. Too tight for Dalton's warped frame. He slammed into the entrance. And the moment he stuck, the roots in his eyes shot out, gripping the walls, pulling him deeper. But he couldn't fit. For now. Aaron grabbed TJ by the shoulders. Look at me. Are you okay? TJ's chest heaved. He said I've been here before? Jack grabbed TJ's arm. He's lying. Demons lie, bro. No, Mira said softly. They distort. Sophie looked horrified. Meaning? Myra's eyes locked on TJ. Meaning something about TJ is tied to this place. TJ felt the truth hit him like a punch. And the worst part? Something deep inside him whispered. She's right. Lily stepped closer, trembling. Whatever this place wants from him, we're keeping him out of its reach. Ryan frowned. Yeah? And how exactly do we do that? The ground vibrated beneath their feet. Dalton's voice, dozens of voices layered into one, echoed from the structure. You cannot leave. TJ, you belong here. TJ whispered. Why? No answer. Just that endless sound of roots tearing through wood. Aaron exhaled. We move. Before that thing finds another way around. Jack nodded. Yeah, let's go before Demon Gumby learns parkour. Alex checked his gear. What's the plan? Mira pointed toward the center of the village. First, we find the ritual house. Ryan frowned. The what? The heart of the colony. Mira swallowed. The place where the first people disappeared. Sophie whispered. What do we find there? Mira stared at TJ. Answers. TJ's pulse pounded in his ears. He wasn't sure he wanted answers. But the colony already chose him. The only way out was through. End of Chapter 3, Part 1. Chapter 3, The Man Who Wasn't Dalton. Part 2. The narrow alley squeezed them forward until even Ryan had to turn sideways to fit. Roots bulged from the walls, thick and pulsing like arteries, giving off a faint warmth that made the air around them claustrophobic. Jack muttered under his breath. I swear these walls are breathing. They are, Mira said. Sophie whimpered. Why are you so calm saying that? I'm not, Mira whispered. I'm terrified. And TJ believed her. Because Myra's voice shook, just a fraction, and Mira never shook. The alley ended abruptly, opening into another crooked courtyard. Fog curled along the ground like crawling fingers. A faint humming vibration pulsed through the air. Alex looked around. This village, it keeps reorganizing around us. It's alive, Mira repeated. And it's watching TJ. TJ swallowed hard. Why me? Mira didn't answer immediately. Instead, she stepped toward him slowly. You heard Dalton. The colony thinks you've been here before. TJ forced a breath. But I haven't. I've never stepped foot. You sure? Jack cut him off. Not trying to freak you out, but you've had gaps in your memory, man. Remember that weird notebook entry you didn't write? TJ didn't respond. Because he did remember. The circled symbol. The warning he didn't remember writing. The feeling of déjà vu when they entered the forest. Lily stepped in front of him, protective, shaking but determined. TJ has never been here. We came to find a missing team, not fall into some cosmic trap. Ryan's gaze hardened. Yeah, well, the trap wants TJ. So what's the plan? Mira pointed to the largest structure in the village, a twisted, temple-like building made of roots spiraling upward like a giant ribcage. The ritual house, she said. Everything started there. Aaron nodded. Move. We're wasting time standing still. Jack muttered. Standing still means letting the demon dude catch up, so yeah, let's go. They approached the ritual house cautiously. Each step felt heavier. Like walking through thick air. Like the colony pressed against them, resisting. When they reached the entrance, TJ felt a sudden chill. A massive wooden archway stood before them, shaped not by carpentry, but by nature forced into form. Roots braided into columns. Vines twisted into spirals. Bark hardened into symbols. And at the center of the archway, a symbol he recognized. The symbol from the map he didn't remember writing on. The one he circled. A circle split down the middle, framed by two curved shapes like open jaws. TJ touched it without thinking. The entire arch vibrated. Sophie gasped. TJ, don't touch anything the colony likes. It's a symbol for arrival, Mira said. Ryan frowned. Arrival of what? Mira looked at TJ. Of whoever it chose. TJ stepped back, pulse racing. No. No way. There has to be another explanation. Alex said quietly. There isn't. Aaron exhaled. If this place has some connection to TJ, then the ritual house is where we find out what it is. Jack tried to lighten the tension and failed. If he starts levitating, someone knock him out. Lily shot him a glare. Jack, shut up. Jack put his hands up. Okay. Fair. They stepped inside. The ritual house. The interior was a cavern of roots and shadows. The air was cold. Oppressively cold. Like the temperature dropped 20 degrees the moment they stepped in. The ceiling was a twisted dome of interlocked branches. The floor was flat, polished wood that looked disturbingly like bone. In the center of the room stood an altar made of woven roots. Shaped like a cradle. Or a coffin. Or both. Sophie shivered violently. This is where they performed the rituals. Ryan snorted. Rituals for what? Feeding that faceless nightmare? No, Mira said. Something older. Alex's voice dropped. Older than the village? Older than the people who first lived here, Mira whispered. TJ stepped toward the altar. Something about it pulled him. Like gravity. Like recognition. He touched the root structure. Instant cold shot up his arm. And suddenly, sharply, he saw flashes. Not memory. Not imagination. Something else. A group of ancient villagers gathering around the altar. A starving winter. A child being placed inside the root cradle. A shadow rising from the ground. Screaming without sound. A creature made of roots and hunger taking a piece of the child's face. The same symbol carved on the archway, glowing like fire. The shadow turning toward him, TJ, as if it could see him through time. TJ stumbled backward, gasping. Lily rushed to him. TJ? What happened? Jack grabbed his shoulders. Dude, what did you see? TJ tried to speak, but his voice cracked. I saw rituals. Sacrifices. This place, they fed something. Something that isn't human. Ryan cursed. Great. Love that journey for us. Aaron asked. Did you see anything about the missing team? No, TJ said. Just the beginning. Why did you see it? Alex asked quietly. No one else saw anything when they touched the walls or the pit, Jack added. Sophie whispered, trembling. Because this place knows him. Mira stepped closer to TJ, eyes haunted. The colony remembers you, TJ. Not as you are now. TJ's stomach tightened. What are you implying? Mira hesitated. Aaron snapped. Say it. Myra's voice cracked. TJ, you're connected to the original ritual. Silence. Ice cold, paralyzing silence. TJ felt the room tilt. What? He whispered. Mira didn't blink. Your presence woke the colony. You didn't just arrive today. A part of you has been here since the beginning. Jack stepped back, shaking his head hard. No. That's impossible. TJ's 100% human. He's not demon spawn or whatever the hell you're suggesting. It's not about blood, Mira said. It's about memory. Ryan frowned. Memory of what? Mira pointed at TJ. Memory of him. TJ felt his breath shake. What the hell does that even mean? Mira looked at the altar, her voice barely audible. I think the first child sacrificed left something behind. And that something came back as you. The room went cold. Colder than before. TJ's vision blurred for a second. Lily grabbed his hands, grounding him. TJ, look at me, she whispered. You're still you. Whatever happened here. But before she could finish, the ground vibrated. Deep. Heavy. Aaron whispered. He found us. Sophie whimpered. Dalton. The far wall split open like a gaping mouth. And through it, Dalton crawled in. Upside down. His back bent like a spider's abdomen. His limbs contorted. His head twisted at a horrific angle, roots pouring from his eyes like black tears. And through a chorus of layered voices he hissed. TJ. You were ours first. End of Chapter 3, Part 2. Chapter 3, The Man Who Wasn't Dalton. Part 3. Dalton crawled into the ritual house like a broken marionette being puppeted by something that didn't understand human anatomy. His limbs bent sideways. Back arched the wrong direction. Fingers dragging along the root bone floor with a wet scrape that echoed inside everyone's skull. Lily clung to TJ's sleeve. Sophie backed into Mira. Alex froze. Jack swore under his breath. Ryan lifted the shotgun again despite Myra's warning. Aaron stepped in front of the group, fearless but tense. Dalton's head snapped upright so violently the crack echoed through the chamber. The black roots in his eye sockets writhed like living worms. Then, without a mouth moving, A voice poured out of him. You were ours first. TJ's blood iced. Not because Dalton said it, but because the voice inside the words wasn't Dalton. It was the colony. Mira whispered. Everyone stay behind TJ. Jack hissed. Why would we? Because it won't hurt him, Mira said. Then she added quietly. Not yet. Dalton lunged. Straight at TJ. Aaron shoved TJ aside and took the hit instead. Dalton slammed into Aaron with enough force to break him, but instead of impact, Dalton phased through him, like pushing through thick water. Aaron screamed, collapsing to one knee. His skin had gone pale. Cold. Drained. Dalton turned his head sharply toward Aaron. Your memory is thin, the creature murmured in a wrong, many-layered tone. Unripe. It discarded Aaron like trash. And crawled right back toward TJ. Ryan fired again. This time the shot hit Dalton's shoulder. The pellets sank into his flesh, but rather than bleeding, the shoulder bulged, swallowing the metal like a mouth consuming food. Jack gagged. Okay, nope, absolutely nope. Dalton's body contracted. Then expanded. Then snapped into a standing position, joints popping loudly. He smiled, or tried to, but his mouth split too wide. TJ took a step back, trembling but holding his ground. Dalton, if any part of you is in there. Dalton spoke in Dalton's real voice this time. Soft. Broken. TJ, run! Lily gasped. Sophie covered her mouth. Then the colony's voice snapped through the roots again. No. Stay. Dalton's body jerked forward. Mira shouted. Get behind the altar! The group scrambled. They ducked behind the root cradle structure as Dalton charged and slammed into it. The altar didn't break. It rippled. Like skin absorbing an impact. Dalton recoiled, body twitching in rapid spasms. Roots shot from the altar, grabbing Dalton's arms, legs, torso, not to restrain him, but to hold him steady. Like a vice. Like a surgical table. Dalton screamed, not with pain, but with the colony's rage. Mira grabbed TJ's wrist, dragging him to the back side of the altar. TJ, listen, this is important, she whispered, voice trembling. The colony doesn't just want to consume you. It wants to fix you. TJ stared at her. Fix me? I'm not broken. Yes, Mira said. You are. Sophie gasped. Mira, stop. Mira didn't stop. Something ripped you out of this place long ago. Something severed you from it. You feel that emptiness sometimes, don't you? TJ froze. Because yes. He did. Those strange flashes of déjà vu. The memory gaps. The hollow feeling he could never explain. Lily grabbed TJ's hand firmly. He's not missing anything, he's human. Mira shook her head slowly. No. He's not. Dalton's body bucked violently against the roots. Then, with a sickening crack, something tore out of his chest. Not an organ. A shape. Something that looked like a twisted branch. No. A rib? No. A piece of the colony? It pulsed black, dripping sap-like fluid. And Dalton, what was left of him, whispered. Take him back. The root shape levitated, pointing at TJ. Alex whispered, trembling. It's offering something. No, Mira said. It's claiming something. The floating root moved toward TJ like a compass seeking true north. Lily stepped between them, shaking but unyielding. Stay away from him. The root paused, then snapped violently toward Lily. TJ yanked her back just in time. The root embedded itself in the floor where Lily had been standing. Sophie screamed. Ryan stepped forward. Back off! He fired again, a final shot. The pellets hit the floating root. And it grew. Instantly. The pellets became seeds. The seeds became roots. The roots twisted into another limb. Ryan stumbled back. It's multiplying? Mira whispered. It can't be destroyed. This is its birthplace. Dalton, or whatever was left of him, twitched once, then went limp, hanging from the altar's roots like a drained puppet. Silence fell for a moment. Then the ritual house began to shake. Hard. The roots in the walls recoiled. The floor cracked. Dust rained from above. Aaron gasped, clutching his chest. It's collapsing. No, Mira said, stepping back. It's transforming. Jack barked. Into what? The altar pulsed. The walls shifted. And slowly, terrifyingly, a doorway formed in the back of the ritual house. A doorway of roots. Blood. Bone. Memory. Mira whispered. That leads to the colony's center. Sophie shook her head violently. No way. No way we go in there. Aaron replied quietly. That's the only way out. Ryan looked at TJ. And I'm guessing it wants you inside. TJ didn't answer. Because the truth was obvious. The colony wasn't trying to kill him. It was trying to bring him home. Lily stepped in front of him again. No matter what's behind that door, we go together. All of us. Jack smirked despite shaking. Yeah. Screw destiny and demon villages. Alex nodded. We're a team. Aaron placed a steady hand on TJ's shoulder. You lead. We follow. Then, the roots on the new doorway twisted. And a face formed in them. A child's face. Hollow. Sad. Recognizable. The same child TJ saw in the vision earlier. Its eyes opened. And it whispered in a soft, broken voice. Come back inside. Please. TJ felt something inside him break. Lily grabbed his hand. Don't go alone. He squeezed her hand back. I won't. They stepped toward the doorway. And the colony whispered, in 1,000 voices layered together. Welcome home. End of Chapter 3. Chapter 4. The Heart That Remembers You. Part 1. The doorway made of roots pulsed like a living wound. Not open, not closed, but breathing. Cold air rushed out of it in slow, rhythmic bursts, like an exhale from something huge, resting somewhere deep inside the earth. TJ felt that cold hit his chest like a memory he never knew he had. Lily squeezed his hand. We go together, she whispered. He nodded once. Aaron moved to TJ's right. Jack took left. Ryan, Sophie, Alex, and Mira formed a tight circle around them. They stepped through the doorway. And the world changed instantly. The root corridor. It wasn't a tunnel. It wasn't a cave. It wasn't a structure humans would ever build. It was a spine. A colossal, organic corridor made of rib-like arches curving over their heads, each rib pulsing faintly with blood-red bioluminescence. The ground beneath them was soft, like walking on layers of moss and flesh. Not liquid. Not solid. Somewhere in the distance, something massive shifted. Something old. Something alive. Jack whispered. We're walking through a monster. No, Mira corrected. You're walking through its memory. Ryan grunted. Feels pretty damn physical to me. They moved in a tight formation. The corridor thickened with fog that drifted upward, glowing faintly like cold embers. Sophie sniffled. It smells like burnt flowers. Alex nodded. Aromatic resin, some kind of biological vapor. No, Mira said softly. It's sorrow. Everyone stared at her. Mira avoided their eyes. She wasn't guessing. She knew. TJ stepped forward and the corridor responded. The ribs tightened slightly. The floor pulsed under his boots. The fog curled toward him like hands reaching. Jack grabbed his shoulder. TJ, it's reacting to you. TJ forced a breath. I know. They walked deeper. The whispering walls. The corridor widened into a circular chamber, made entirely of interwoven roots. At first, the walls looked blank. Then the roots shifted. And faces appeared. Not human faces. Not ghosts. Impressions. Faint outlines of people pressed into the surface like plaster molds. Jack took one step back. Nope. I'm not doing this wall of dying people bullshit. But the faces began to move. Slowly. Subtly. Their eyes opened, hollow. Their mouths moved, silently. Except TJ could hear them. The whispers slid under his ribs like cold knives. You came back. We waited. Finally, you're home. TJ stumbled back. Lily caught him. TJ! Hey, look at me! Look at me! But the whispers grew louder. Why did you leave us? Why did you survive? The child who escaped. TJ froze. What? He breathed. What did it say? Myra's eyes widened. She heard too. Jack grabbed Mira. What the hell does that mean? Mira swallowed. Hard. TJ, you weren't just connected to the ritual. She pointed to the moving faces on the walls. You were in it. TJ's heartbeat became a thunder in his ears. I wasn't even born. No, Mira said quickly. Not you. Not this life. You are a continuation. A return. Sophie whimpered. This is too much. Alex stared at TJ, shaken. You're telling me he's reincarnated? Mira shook her head. No. Reincarnation is gentle. Jack swallowed. This is the opposite of gentle. Mira nodded. This is forced memory rebirth. The colony doesn't let its chosen go. It finds ways to bring them back. TJ's hands shook. Lily grabbed both of them, anchoring him. TJ, listen to me. Whatever this thing thinks you are, you're still you. You're still the person we know. TJ looked into her eyes. But he wasn't sure he believed it. The walls whispered louder. The faces pressed forward, stretching the root walls outward, as if trying to emerge. Aaron raised his rifle. Everyone move. Now. They sprinted through the far exit of the chamber. The whispers followed them like a storm. The bridge of veins. The tunnel opened into a long bridge suspended over a bottomless pit. The bridge wasn't wood or rope. It was veins. Dozens of thick, pulsing veins stretched across the gap, forming a narrow, trembling path. Each vein vibrated like a plucked string when touched by their footsteps. Beneath them, nothing but darkness. Jack looked down once. Okay, yeah, that's death. Lots of death. Sophie shook. What if it collapses? It won't, Mira said. It wants TJ to cross. That's not reassuring, Alex muttered. TJ stepped onto the vein bridge. It firmed beneath his foot, like welcoming him. The others stepped on. The bridge trembled, dangerously, as if deciding who it liked. Lily squeezed TJ's hand hard. Walk. Don't look down. They moved one step at a time. The veins pulsed with every footstep TJ took, brighter, hotter. Then, halfway across, a loud, wet tearing sound echoed through the cavern. Ryan spun around. What was that? The veins behind them snapped. The bridge began collapsing from the back. One section tore free and fell into the pit. Sophie screamed. Run! They sprinted, the bridge ripping apart behind them piece by piece. Jack grabbed Sophie as she almost slipped. Move! Move! Alex yelled. Faster! Aaron shouted. Don't stop! TJ felt the colony pulling him forward, not to save him, but to make sure he reached the end. He grabbed Lily's hand and pulled her as the final section cracked. They leaped onto the far ledge as the last vein snapped free and fell into blackness. Jack collapsed, panting. I hate this place. I hate it so much. Ryan laughed nervously. That's fair. TJ didn't speak. Because the moment they landed, the chamber before them lit up, revealing a massive, pulsing structure. Something alive. Something ancient. Something waiting. Sophie whispered. Oh God! Lily squeezed TJ's hand, voice breaking. That's the heart. Mira nodded slowly. No. That's the core. TJ felt something shift inside his mind. One memory. One sentence. A voice, not his, whispering. You belong to the Corps. TJ's breast shuddered. I remember this place. Aaron turned sharply. How? You've never. TJ nodded slowly. No. Not in this life. The Corps pulsed once. A welcoming heartbeat. The group braced themselves. And TJ stepped forward. End of Chapter 4, Part 1. Chapter 4, The Heart That Remembers You. Part 2. The Corps pulsed in front of them like a massive heart carved from roots, bone, and something too ancient to categorize. It throbbed slowly, pushing waves of air across the chamber in warm, heavy bursts, like exhalations from a giant creature dreaming beneath the earth. But beneath the heartbeat, there was whispering. Not random. Not chaotic. Voices. Thousands of voices. All whispering the same thing. You came back. TJ swallowed hard. That's definitely directed at me. Mira nodded once. Quiet. Uneasy. It remembers you. Lily shot Mira a glare. He's not part of this place. Stop saying that. Mira didn't argue. She didn't look away from the Corps either. Tension cut through the group like a blade. Even Ryan, usually the loudest, stayed silent as he stared at the pulsing mass. Jack exhaled shakily. All right, team. What now? Do we knock? Say hello? Burn it? Shoot it? Aaron shot him a look. No jokes. Not here. I'm serious. Jack hissed. I don't like that it's breathing our air. TJ stepped closer. The ground vibrated under his foot. But only under his foot. Lily grabbed his arm. Stop. Please. It reacts to you every time. TJ didn't deny it. He felt the connection now more than ever, a thread linking his spine to the throbbing core. A feeling he didn't want, but couldn't reject. A memory not from his life, but from something older, and buried inside him. He walked closer anyway. The moment he got within a few steps, the core opened. A slit ripped down the center of it. Like an eye. Or a mouth. Or a wound. Inside. Roots twisted like tendons, pulsing with faint blue light. Sophie staggered backward. No. No, no, no. That's alive. That's aware. Ryan aimed his shotgun again. This ends now. Don't, Mira snapped. Her voice cracked loud enough to echo. Ryan froze. If you shoot the core, Mira said quietly, this entire place collapses around us. Jack blinked. Well, that sounds bad. Very. Alex studied the core with horrified fascination. What is it, exactly? A brain? A heart? Some kind of neural hub? Mira whispered. It's a memory organ. TJ frowned. A what? Mira took a breath. TJ, what do you remember about the vision you saw when you touched the altar? TJ felt the memory slam into him. A starving village. A desperate ritual. A child laid inside the root cradle. The first sacrifice. The shadow rising. The child's face. The scream without sound. And the creature turning toward him. I saw. TJ swallowed. I saw a kid. A sacrifice. Mira nodded slowly. And that sacrifice created the first core. A memory core that records everything it touches. Sophie's voice shook. But why does it know TJ? Mira turned to TJ. Because he was that child. Silence. Lily's breath caught. Jack froze. Ryan swore. Alex stepped back. Aaron's eyes widened. Sophie covered her mouth. TJ felt like the ground disappeared under him. What? He whispered. That's impossible. You were not reborn naturally, Mira said quietly. You were pulled back. Reconstructed. Recalled. Memory doesn't die here. The colony used a fragment of the sacrificed child, the only one who resisted, and rebuilt him. TJ shook his head violently. No. No. I'm not some resurrected ritual kid. I have parents. A life. A whole damn childhood. Yes, Mira said gently. Given to you. Borrowed. Inserted. Memories can be planted just as easily as they can be eaten. That hit TJ so hard he almost collapsed. Lily wrapped her arms around him, holding him upright. Don't listen to her. You are real. You are you. TJ clung to her like he was drowning. But Myra's voice didn't relent. TJ, the colony recognizes you because a part of you never left. You were the first to survive a ritual. Your fear, your pain, your instinct. She pointed at the core. Became the blueprint for the colony's hunger. That's enough, Aaron said sharply. We'll deal with origins later. Right now we focus on survival. The core pulsed violently and interrupted him. The slit opened wider. A rush of air pulled toward it. Sucking dust. Fog. Sound. Even light. A massive eye-like shape formed inside the core. Not a pupil. Not human. A swirling void of roots and memory. It focused on TJ. And a voice, not spoken aloud, but inside TJ's skull, whispered. Child of the first ritual. Come home. TJ staggered. The voice felt like it came from his own bones. Lily held him tighter. TJ, stay with us. Don't go near it. But TJ wasn't moving toward it. The core was pulling him. Mira screamed. Get back! It's claiming him. Aaron tackled TJ sideways as a tendril of root shot from the core like a spear, passing through the air where TJ stood a second earlier. It missed. Barely. Jack yelled. Move, move, move! Ryan dragged Lily. Alex grabbed Sophie. The group scattered as more root tentacles burst from the core, slamming into the floor and walls with explosive force. The core shrieked. A horrible sound of thousands of voices screaming at once. TJ felt something snap inside him. Like part of his mind was being pulled out. Lily grabbed his face with both hands, tears in her eyes. Look at me. You're not theirs. You're not that child. You're TJ. You're here. With us. TJ blinked hard, vision blurring, breath shaking. The core's voice thundered inside him. Come back to where you began. TJ screamed. Not from fear. From pain. His head felt like it was splitting open. And then, the core changed. Its shape shifted. Roots rearranged. The slit curled upward, forming a shape. A figure. A silhouette. A child. The same child from TJ's vision. The sacrificed one. And the child reached out a root-formed hand toward TJ, whispering with a voice like his own. Please! Come with me! So I can finally sleep. TJ's breath died in his throat. Lily's grip tightened desperately. Mira whispered shakily. TJ, that's you! End of Chapter 4, Part 2. Chapter 4, The Heart That Remembers You. Part 3. The child-shaped figure stood inside the core, made entirely of roots, memory, and something that looked disturbingly like trauma given form. Its outline flickered. Sometimes solid. Sometimes a blur. Sometimes a screaming silhouette pressed against glass. But its face looked like a corrupted version of TJ's own face as a child. Same eyes. Same nose. Same jawline. Except hollow. Except empty. Except wrong. The root child lifted its hand again, reaching for TJ with fragile, trembling fingers. TJ, Lily whispered, holding him tightly. You don't move. You don't take a step. You stay right here with me. TJ didn't answer. Because he wasn't sure he could. The child whispered again. You left me. TJ staggered. No, he breathed. I don't remember you. I don't remember any of this. The child's head twitched. Its voice cracked, both tiny and monstrous, layered with 1,000 echoes. That's because they hid you. Jack cursed. Okay, that's enough. Somebody shut this demon kid up. Mira grabbed Jack's arm hard. Don't antagonize it. That's not a demon. That's a memory fragment, the memory fragment. The first one. Alex looked sick. A piece of the original ritual child. Ryan scoffed. I don't care if it's the ghost of Santa, it wants TJ's soul. Ryan, stop. Aaron barked. But the child wasn't listening to them. Only to TJ. Its root-formed body took a step out of the core, dragging strings of gooey, sap-like memory fluid across the floor. The lights in the chamber dimmed. The heartbeat of the core accelerated. The air thinned. And the child whispered directly into TJ's skull. Come home. You're the only part missing. TJ felt a crack inside his mind. A pressure. A pull. Like someone trying to drag a memory out of him. One he didn't know he had. Stop! TJ gasped, clutching his head. Stop! Stop! Lily grabbed his face, forcing eye contact. TJ, breathe! Look at me! Focus on me! Not it! But the child took another step. And another. Each footstep echoed like a heartbeat inside TJ's chest. Mira whispered urgently. TJ, it's trying to merge with you. It thinks you're the new vessel. The one who was supposed to stay. TJ snapped at her. Why me? Myra's voice broke. Because the first child, you, never died. You escaped. The colony has been incomplete ever since. It has been searching for the missing part of itself. The child's fragile voice trembled. You were meant to stay with me. TJ didn't realize he was crying until Lily wiped a tear from his cheek. Lily's voice cracked. Listen to me, you're not this place. You're not its memory. You're not some missing piece. You're TJ. You're real. You're mine. The child's eyes darkened. It looked at Lily. And the core pulsed violently. The entire room shook. Cracks ripped across the floor. The child screamed. Its voice shredding through the air like broken glass. He was never yours. A shockwave blasted outward. Lily flew backward into Jack, both crashing into the wall. Sophie hit the ground. Alex shielded her. Ryan stumbled but stayed up. Aaron barely kept his footing. Mira was thrown to her knees. TJ was the only one not thrown. The child had shielded him. Protected him. The core whispered. Return. TJ's breast shuddered. I'm not yours. The child tilted its head. But you are. TJ took a shaky step back. Lily crawled forward on her elbows, desperate. Don't go near it. Please. It'll take you. But TJ wasn't moving toward the child. The child was pulling reality toward him. Roots stretched across the floor. Walls bent inward. The core elongated like a giant mouth. The colony was folding the world around TJ. Mira shouted. If the child merges with him, TJ won't exist anymore. Sophie sobbed. Then stop it. How do we stop it? Myra's eyes filled with dread. There's only one way. Ryan lifted his shotgun again. Say the word. Mira shook her head violently. No. If you shoot the child, TJ will feel it. It's bonded to him. Jack yelled. Then what can we do? Myra's voice trembled. TJ has to reject it. Not run. Not hide. Reject it. TJ stared at the child. At the hollow, broken, grieving memory of himself. Reject you? He whispered. The child's voice cracked. Please, don't leave me alone again. That hit TJ like a knife. The loneliness. The fear. The abandonment. Even if he didn't remember that life. That pain felt real. Too real. Lily crawled to him, gripping his fingers. TJ, listen. It's not you. It's a memory of a child who suffered. But it's not you. TJ's voice was barely a breath. But it was me. No, she whispered harshly. Not anymore. The child stepped closer. Roots stretched toward TJ's chest. Toward his heart. The core whispered again. Come home. TJ clenched his jaw. He wiped his face, stood straight, and whispered back, "No!" The entire chamber froze. The child's face twisted, grief, then fury. It screamed. The sound splitting the roots, splitting the air, splitting the memory around them. "You belong to me!" TJ stepped backward. Toward Lily, toward his team, toward this life. "I belong to myself," he said. His voice didn't shake this time. "I choose me. Not you. Not this place." The child screamed again. And the court convulsed. The chamber began collapsing. Aaron shouted, "Everyone move! Now!" The child lunged. And TJ grabbed Lily's hand. And turned his back on the colony. For the first time. Ever. End of Chapter 4. Chapter 5. The Traitor of Ashvahara. Part 1. The root child lunged. Not like a ghost. Not like a memory. But like a rabid animal bursting from a trap. Its body bent in impossible angles. Arms whipping forward like spears of living wood. Mouth tearing open in a soundless scream. TJ barely ducked as its claws slashed across the air where his throat had been. Lily yanked him backward, screaming, "Move!" The entire chamber shook violently, cracking down the walls as if the core itself had been struck with grief and rage. Mira shouted, "TJ, keep your back turned! That's the only way to reject it fully!" TJ turned away from the child again. And the reaction was instant. The child shrieked. A horrible, raw sound that vibrated through the roots. And the entire chamber convulsed. Sophie cried out. Jack covered her. Alex pulled Lily behind a pillar. Ryan raised his shotgun, eyes wild. Aaron grabbed TJ's arm. "The colony's shifting! We need to move!" The ground split open beneath the altar. Roots exploded upward like tentacles. The colony was no longer welcoming TJ. It was trying to crush him. Jack yelled, "Go, go, go! Left tunnel!" They sprinted. A root smashed into the wall inches from TJ's head. Another slammed where Lily's legs had been a second earlier. The child screeched behind them, voice warping. "Come back! You were mine! You were always mine!" TJ felt the voice stab into the back of his skull. He clenched his fists. "I said no!" The chamber reacted like he'd slapped it. Every surface pulsed. Lights flickered. Roots recoiled like burned flesh. Mira screamed from behind. "You're breaking its control! Keep going!" The group barreled through the roots into a narrow passageway. The entrance collapsed behind them, with a sickening whump of wood and flesh. Darkness swallowed them briefly until Alex flicked on a handheld light. The tunnel looked nothing like the others. This one was made entirely of teeth. Hundreds of long, curved, ivory-like structures lined the walls, ceiling, floor, grinding softly like a sleeping creature's jaw. Sophie gagged. "The entire tunnel is a mouth?" Jack staggered. "This place really wants therapy." The teeth vibrated. Not chewing. Waiting. Mira grabbed TJ's wrist. "If you panic, the colony will sense it through you. It will clamp down this tunnel and kill all of us." TJ swallowed hard. "So I'm the fuse and the bomb." "Pretty much, yeah," Jack muttered, trying to sound brave and failing miserably. Aaron scanned ahead. "Keep moving. No stopping." They started down the tunnel. Every step triggered vibrations through the teeth. Like the mouth was tasting their footsteps. Then, a deep, wet roar echoed behind them. The child. "No, no, no," Lily whispered. "It followed us." Alex spun. "But the tunnel collapsed," Ryan answered with dread. "It came through the roots." Behind them, the root child dropped from the ceiling. Head cocked sideways, arms dangling. Like a puppet whose strings were pulled by pure hatred. It screeched. "TJ! Stop running!" TJ shouted back, voice cracking. "You're not me!" The entire tunnel shook. Teeth snapped shut behind the child, trying to trap it. But the child moved like a shadow, slipping between the closing rows. Jack shouted. Run now! They sprinted as the tunnel's teeth snapped shut one after another like a giant throat swallowing. The light flickered. The floor tilted. The teeth closed in waves. The child crawled over the walls, chasing with frightening speed. Sophie screamed. Faster! TJ grabbed her arm as she stumbled. Don't stop! The teeth snapped shut inches behind her foot. One misstep equals crushed into paste. The tunnel ahead narrowed. A throat constricting. Ryan blasted a shotgun round at a tooth blocking their exit. The entire tunnel roared. The walls convulsed. The teeth retracted. And the passage opened into a new chamber. Aaron shoved everyone through. TJ was last. He dove through the opening. And the jaws snapped shut behind him with a horrifying crunch. They were safe. For 3 seconds. Then the chamber lit up. The chamber of echoes. This chamber was round and tall like a cathedral. But everything inside it was wrong. Sound bounced strangely. Delayed, warped, reshaped. Each footstep echoed twice. Each breath echoed behind them. Each heartbeat echoed louder than it should. Lily whispered, TJ, this place feels like... He finished for her. Like it's listening. There was no core here. No faces. No violent roots. Just echoes. Alex whispered, Maybe it lost us. Ryan shook his head. No. It's hunting us. Suddenly, a soft voice called TJ's name. TJ. It wasn't the child. It was Lily. But Lily was right next to him. When TJ turned, Lily looked horrified. That wasn't me? Another voice echoed. TJ. This time it was Jack's voice. Jack flinched. That wasn't me either. Hell no. Then Aaron's voice. Over here. But Aaron hadn't spoken. All the voices weren't coming from the team. They were coming from the walls. The chamber echoed every memory the colony had extracted from them earlier. TJ. Help me. You left me. Come home. We miss you. You're ours. You're mine. Dozens. Hundreds. Voices. Shadows. Flickering silhouettes of all the people the colony had devoured. Then, a new voice echoed. A voice that froze TJ's blood. Not Dalton. Not the root child. Not the colony. TJ's own voice. Right behind him. Stop running. TJ spun around. Behind him stood. Him. But not physically. A perfect echo of TJ. Root-colored eyes. Slightly younger. Slightly hollow. Slightly twisted. Mira gasped. Oh my God! It's duplicating him. The echo. TJ smiled wrong. You can't kill a memory. And you can't leave your own reflection behind. It stepped closer. Lily grabbed TJ's arm, terrified. Don't let it touch you. But the echo wasn't reaching for Lily. It was reaching for TJ's face. The root child had failed. The echo self was the colony's next attempt. TJ. It whispered. In here, you're the original. Out there, you're the copy. TJ felt everything inside him freeze. Jack whispered. Bro, don't listen to that thing. It's you, but dead. Ryan raised the shotgun. Move and I'll blow it apart. Mira grabbed the barrel. No! If you shoot that thing, TJ will feel a shock. It's psychically linked. The echo. TJ smiled wider. Come back. It whispered. Be whole again. And then it lunged. End of Chapter 5, Part 1. Chapter 5, The Traitor of Ashvahara. Part 2. The echo version of TJ lunged with inhuman speed, its arms swinging like liquid shadow, its face stretching into a grotesque mockery of his own expression. TJ barely ducked as the echo's hand swiped across the air where his jaw had been. The air cracked with the force. A clean, slicing sound, like reality was being cut. Ryan raised the shotgun. Get down! TJ dropped, and Ryan fired. The blast detonated against the echo's chest. and went straight through it. The pellets didn't pass through like they would a ghost. They stopped inside it. And hung there. Like frozen fragments in thick gel. Then slowly, one by one, the pellets dissolved. Sophie shrieked. "It's eating the shots!" Alex whispered, horrified. "It's made of memory. You can't kill what isn't alive!" The Echo TJ turned its head, smiling with teeth TJ didn't have. Then it stared straight at Ryan. And copied Ryan's voice perfectly. "You can't stop me." Ryan's eyes widened. Did that thing just... "Yes," Mira said sharply. "It's learning. Fast." Jack grabbed Sophie and dragged her back. "Then we move." The Echo TJ's arm elongated, snapping into a long, slick root tendon, and slashed the ground between Jack's legs. Jack stumbled backward, terrified. "Bro, what?" It wasn't trying to kill Jack. It wasn't trying to kill any of them. It was hurting them. TJ realized it instantly. "It's trying to isolate me," TJ shouted. "Stay on me!" But that was exactly what the Echo wanted. The Echo strikes. It blurred, splitting into two Echo forms for a moment. And one of them went straight for Lily. Lily screamed. TJ reacted instinctively. "No!" He grabbed her and pulled her back as the Echo's arms sliced through the space she had been standing in, shredding root fibers in the wall. The Echo turned back toward him. Root-colored eyes narrowing. It whispered in TJ's own voice. "You keep choosing them over me." TJ raised his fists even though they shook. "You're not me. You're a mistake." The Echo tilted its head. "Or you are." Lily tried to pull him back. "TJ, don't talk to it." He ignored her. Something inside him was done hiding. The Echo stepped closer. "You betrayed us," it hissed, voice shifting between TJ's and the child's. "You belong with the memory that birthed you." TJ clenched his teeth. "You're not my memory." The Echo grinned, jaw splitting wrong. "I am your memory." Then it lunged again. The fight. TJ dodged sideways, barely avoiding the Echo's claw-like swipe. Its arms smashed into the chamber wall, cracking the root structure like bone. Ryan fired another round. Jack threw a piece of broken root. Alex tried to blind it with the flashlight. Nothing slowed it down. The Echo advanced steadily on TJ, eyes locked onto him, every movement mirroring his, a natural copy. "TJ, run!" Sophie screamed. "No," Mira said sharply. "That's what it wants. If he runs alone, it will envelope him." Jack yelled. "Then what do we do?" Mira turned to TJ. "You fight it." TJ blinked. "With what?" "You," Mira said. "You fight it with your sense of self. Everything it has mimicked is stolen from you." The Echo hissed. "Lies." Mira stepped forward. "No. Facts. You want to overwrite him because he refuses to merge." The Echo's form started distorting, becoming less human, more jagged. It screamed. "He was mine first!" The chamber trembled violently. TJ stepped forward, even though his legs felt like stone. He faced the Echo head-on. "You're not me," TJ said again, louder. "TJ." Lily grabbed his arm, pleading. "Don't get close." He pulled free gently but firmly. The Echo lunged. TJ didn't back up. He stepped in. The Echo swung at him. And TJ blocked the strike with his forearm. Pain exploded through him. But he held firm. The Echo froze. It looked down at TJ's arm in confusion. Then at TJ's face. Then it screamed. Not an attack scream. A frustrated, broken scream. "Why are you not me?" "Because," TJ panted, "I don't belong to you. Or this place. Or that ritual." He pointed at the core behind the Echo. "I survived you. I became something else. And I chose MY life." The Echo shook violently. Its form flickered. "No. No. No. I am the original. You are the shadow. You are the copy. Maybe," TJ said. But I'm the one who walked out. The echo convulsed. Sparks of memory flickered out of its body like embers. Faces. Voices. Flickers of the ritual child. Flickers of TJ. Flickers of something older. It staggered backward. No, it whispered. You're supposed to complete us. Then the fury returned like a storm. Fine. If you won't join us. Its body stretched, forming sharp, spear-like arms. You'll die as a traitor! It lunged one last time. Straight at TJ's heart. The interception. Someone slammed into TJ from the side. Not Lily. Not Mira. Not Aaron. Jack. Jack tackled TJ out of the way. And the echo's spear arm went straight through Jack's side. Jack gasped. His eyes widened. TJ screamed. Jack! The echo pulled its arm back and Jack dropped to the ground, blood spreading across his shirt. Sophie screamed. Lily froze in horror. Ryan yelled. Alex cursed. Aaron grabbed Jack. Mira covered her mouth. The echo stared at its own blood-soaked arm. Then at TJ. The root-colored eyes filled with hatred. You chose them. It whispered. You chose wrong. And the echo vanished, evaporating into a cloud of drifting memory dust. Pulled back toward the deeper chambers of the colony. Gone. But not dead. Never dead. TJ dropped to his knees beside Jack. Jack gave a weak grin through the pain. Bro, don't let it replace you, okay? TJ grabbed him by the shoulders, eyes burning. You're gonna be fine. You hear me? Stay awake. Lily pressed her hands on Jack's wound, crying. Jack, stay with us. Stay with us. But Myra's face fell. Her voice was thin. TJ, that wound. She looked terrified. It's not a physical wound. TJ looked down. The wound wasn't bleeding normally. It was spreading like dark roots under Jack's skin. The echo hadn't stabbed him. It had infected him. Jack's voice cracked. TJ. I think it's trying to make me into you. And TJ felt the colony shift. Awake, aware, and angrier than ever. End of Chapter 5. Chapter 6. The Man Who Is Becoming You. Part 1. Jack lay on the chamber floor, gasping through clenched teeth. The infection spread under his skin like dark lightning, thin root-like lines crawling up his ribs, across his shoulder, pulsing in rhythm with the colony's heartbeat. Sophie sobbed openly. Alex knelt beside him, shaking. Lily pressed harder on the wound, tears falling. Ryan paced, furious and helpless. Aaron hovered, weapon up, scanning the chamber. Mira stared at Jack as if witnessing something ancient and horrifying. And TJ. TJ couldn't speak. Jack forced a grin, breath hitching. Dude, this is not how I planned to die in a cursed hell forest, just so we're clear. Shut up, TJ croaked. You're not dying. Jack winced. My guy. I'm literally turning into you. The roots under his skin pulsed brighter. Lily's voice cracked, desperate. We can stop it. We can slow it down. No, Mira whispered sharply. Don't touch the roots. You'll spread it. Lily recoiled, horrified. So what do we do? Mira knelt beside Jack. Her voice was low, controlled, deadly serious. This is not just an infection. This is replacement. Sophie whispered. Replacement for what? Alex answered softly. For TJ. The room fell silent. The pulsing light under Jack's skin grew brighter. His pupils flickered, just a flicker, between his own and TJ's. Jack noticed. He looked up at TJ, eyes trembling. TJ. It's copying you. From the inside. TJ felt cold stab him in the heart. Jack wasn't being consumed. Jack was being reshaped. Piece by piece. Memory by memory. Identity by identity. Mira continued, voice barely steady. The echo failed to merge with TJ directly. So it's trying a secondary route. It's building a physical vessel using Jack. and replacing his memories with TJ's. Lily screamed. No! No, no, that's not happening! Ryan glared at Mira. You're saying Jack's gonna turn into TJ? How the hell? Mira snapped. The colony doesn't need 2 TJs. It needs 1 TJ in the correct form. Jack is the blank body it's trying to override. Jack coughed, blood flecking his lips. TJ. I don't want to be you, man. No offense. TJ's vision blurred. I'm not losing you. Jack forced a chuckle. Then hurry the hell up and fix me. The infection spread faster. The veins in Jack's neck darkened. His breathing slowed. His eyes unfocused. He whispered, TJ. Am I still me? TJ grabbed him by the shirt. You're Jack. No one replaces you. No one. Jack's expression softened. Good. He exhaled. Because being you looks stressful as hell. TJ almost laughed. But the sound died when Jack's body seized. His back arched violently. His jaw clenched. Skin stretched too tight. The root lines on his torso glowed black-blue. And then Jack spoke. But it wasn't Jack's voice. Not even close. It was TJ's voice. Perfectly copied. Stop running. TJ froze. The voice again, from Jack's mouth. Stop pretending you're the real one. Sophie screamed. Alex stumbled backward. Ryan raised the shotgun. Lily pulled TJ away, terrified. Aaron yelled, Don't shoot! But Jack, or whatever was inside Jack now, kept talking in TJ's voice. You don't belong out there. You belong here. With me. TJ whispered, horrified. It's the echo, inside him. Jack opened his eyes. They weren't his eyes. They were root-colored. Just like the echo. Just like the child. Mira stood quickly. TJ, back away. If it reaches your skin, it merges and erases you. Lily grabbed TJ's arm tighter. You're not going near him. Jack, possessed Jack, sat up slowly. His bones cracked. His smile stretched too wide. His voice was TJ's again. We can still be one. The room shook. The colony pulsed around them. Ryan shouted, We have to move, now! Aaron pointed at the far tunnel. The bridge collapsed behind us. This chamber leads deeper. That's our only shot. Sophie sobbed. We can't leave Jack. But Jack spoke again. Go, he whispered in TJ's voice. I'll find you. TJ felt his heart split in two. Because that wasn't Jack talking. That was the echo. Calling him deeper. Pulling him in. Lily stepped between TJ and the infected Jack, tears streaming. No. We're not letting Jack die like this. He's coming with us. But Jack stood. Too smoothly. Too controlled. He walked toward TJ slowly, replacing each of his steps with TJ's exact rhythm. He whispered again, voice soft and dead. Come here. Sophie fainted. Alex dragged her back. Ryan cocked his weapon. Aaron aimed. Mira screamed. Don't let him touch TJ! Jack, the echo inside Jack, reached out a hand. TJ. TJ stepped backward. Shaking. Breaking. I'm sorry, TJ whispered. Jack tilted his head. Don't be. You're coming home anyway. Ryan fired. This time, the shotgun blast hit Jack square in the chest. And Jack finally fell. Not dead. Not alive. Just stopped. Still. The infection froze. The colony went silent. Every root in the walls held its breath. Lily covered her mouth, crying into TJ's shoulder. TJ collapsed to his knees beside Jack's body. And whispered, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Then, a root cracked behind them. Aaron turned sharply. We need to move. Right. Now. The colony wasn't done. Not even close. Jack's body twitched. Just once. And TJ realized with sickening horror. Jack wasn't gone. Jack wasn't alive. Jack wasn't Jack. The colony was rebooting him. TJ stood, wiped his face, and whispered, "Jack, forgive me." He turned away, and the group fled into the deeper tunnels, leaving behind the friend who took a spear for him, and who the colony now intended to finish remaking into TJ's replacement. End of Chapter 6, Part 1. Chapter 6, The Man Who Is Becoming You. Part 2. The group sprinted through the narrowing root tunnels, every step echoing with the colony's waking rage. The air grew hotter, wetter, denser, like they were running deeper into a set of lungs ready to exhale poison. Sophie regained consciousness in Alex's arms, choking on terror. Jack. Where is he? TJ stiffened. Lily shot Alex a look that said don't answer. But Sophie heard everything in their silence. She began trembling violently. No. He was right behind us. He was talking. He was. Aaron snapped. Not now. We keep moving. But Sophie broke down, sobbing harder. Her voice cracked in a way that cut straight through TJ. He protected you. He always protected you. And now he's... Her voice collapsed. Mira put a hand on her back. Soft. Gentle. And Mira never used soft. We'll fix it, Mira whispered. We're not done. Lily looked over her shoulder, eyes burning with grief. TJ, you okay? TJ didn't answer. Because inside him, a familiar voice was whispering. Jack's voice. TJ. Come back. TJ shuddered and grabbed the wall. Lily rushed to him. Hey, look at me. Don't listen to it. He nodded weakly, but that voice was perfectly Jack. Except Jack wasn't speaking. It was the echo inside him, trying to keep TJ connected. Aaron gestured forward. TJ. Move. We can't slow down. He did. But the whisper didn't stop. The root bellowed hall. The tunnel opened into a massive chamber, 3 stories tall, ribbed with root arches. Veins of faint blue light crawled across the walls, pulsing like neurons firing. Sophie let out a broken gasp. Oh God! This looks like a nerve center. Alex nodded grimly. It is. We're inside the biological core. A structural brain. Ryan muttered. Great. So we're inside its damn skull. Mira pointed to a narrow bridge leading further inward. That's the pathway to the colony's hive memory. TJ felt a shiver crawl down his spine. Meaning what? Myra's eyes hardened. Meaning this is where the colony stores the people it takes. Sophie sobbed again. That's where it's dragging Jack, isn't it? Mira didn't answer. She didn't need to. The air vibrated behind them. A low, wet, inhuman sound. Like bones grinding between roots. Aaron lifted his rifle. Something's coming. Ryan cocked the shotgun. Let it come. Lily pulled TJ behind a root pillar. Her voice was barely a whisper. If that's Jack. TJ, you can't let it touch you. TJ leaned against the pillar, shaking with exhaustion and grief. Lily, he saved my life. Lily grabbed his face with both hands, forcing him to look at her. And you'll save his, if you survive. Her voice cracked. I'm not losing both of you. A sharp cracking sound echoed through the chamber. Something tore out of the tunnel they'd just escaped. Ryan lifted the shotgun higher. Alex stepped back. Sophie screamed. Myra's eyes widened. And Aaron whispered the thing they all realized too late. That's not the echo. Something stepped into the light. At first, it looked human. Then, it straightened. Shoulders popping loudly. Legs bending subtly wrong. Skin pulsing with root veins. Chest rising and falling with the colony's rhythm. And its face. Its face was Jack's. But not Jack. A perfect reconstruction. Smooth. Emotionless. Unblinking. The voice that came out wasn't Jack's. And it wasn't TJ's. It was a layered chorus. TJ. Your replacement is ready. TJ felt his entire body go cold. No, he whispered. No, no, no. Lily backed up, pulling him with her. Sophie collapsed again. Ryan stepped between them, weapon up. Aaron stood at his side. The colony Jack stepped forward. And spoke again. There must be one. Jack's body twitched. The colony rerouted its memory threads, reanimating him like a puppet. Mira whispered, horrified. It's creating a stabilized vessel. It doesn't want a ghost of you. It wants a newer, stronger version. With Jack's body. And your identity. Alex shook. That means TJ isn't supposed to be absorbed. He's supposed to be erased. The colony Jack pointed at TJ. Every root in the chamber shuddered. The walls pulsed. The floor trembled. Sophie screamed. Run! And everything exploded into motion. The chase. The colony Jack sprinted. Not human speed. Not Echo's speed. Monster speed. It crossed half the chamber in 3 seconds, limbs distorting like a nightmare version of Jack learning how to move in real time. Aaron fired. Ryan fired. Alex threw a flare. Sophie dragged Lily. Mira shoved TJ ahead. Nothing slowed it. TJ sprinted across the nerve bridge. Lily never let go of his hand. Behind them. The colony Jack shrieked. A sound like metal ripping through bone. TJ didn't look back. He didn't need to. He felt it. Felt its eyes on him. Felt its intention. Felt the colony making its final decision. The real TJ must die so the replacement can live. Lily screamed behind him. TJ, left side, now! He dove left. A spear root shot past his head, splintering the bridge behind them. Alex nearly fell. Ryan grabbed him by the collar. Aaron shoved them forward. The colony Jack landed on the bridge behind them, cracking the surface with brute strength. Jack's distorted voice echoed. Stop running from yourself. TJ spun mid-run, screaming back. You're not me! The colony Jack tilted its head, smiled, and whispered, I will be. It lunged again, closing the last few meters between them. When suddenly, the bridge collapsed beneath its feet. Ryan had blasted the support root with a perfect shot. The colony Jack fell, grabbing onto a hanging vein with its left hand, dangling over the abyss. But not dying. Not even close. It pulled itself up with a grotesque, twisting motion. Arms bending backward. Eyes fixed on TJ. And it hissed. I will find you. The whole chamber rattled. The whole colony responded. Mira didn't hesitate. She screamed. Run! Now! This entire level is waking up! And the group sprinted deeper into the forest's brain. With the colony's perfect version of TJ climbing back onto the bridge. And hunting them with murderous precision. End of Chapter 6, Part 2. Chapter 6, The Man Who Is Becoming You. Part 3. The group tore through the lower tunnels, boots pounding against root flesh that rippled under the impact like muscle-absorbing blows. The colony reacted to every step. The walls clenched. The ceilings lowered. The ground bulged, trying to trip them. The air thickened with spores that glowed in shades of blue and red, pulsing like distant stars blinking inside fog. Sophie sobbed as she ran. I can't see, the air, it's too thick. Alex dragged her forward. Keep breathing. Keep your shirt over your mouth. Ryan stumbled but kept advancing. Lily stayed locked to TJ's arm. Aaron shouted over the echoing thunder of moving roots. We're entering the colony's deep brain. It'll try to isolate TJ and wipe the rest of us. Mira sprinted ahead, staff flashlight flickering. Her voice cut through the chaos. Everyone stay on TJ. If we separate, it'll take us one by one. A metallic scream cracked through the tunnels behind them. Colony Jack. It wasn't running. It was crawling. Rapid. Animalistic. Limbs scraping along the walls. feet twisting backward. Back arched like a spider preparing to strike. Its voice chased them like a nightmare echo. TJ! TJ glanced back. And instantly wished he hadn't. Jack's face, or the mockery of it, was splitting along the jawline, roots pushing through, forming teeth where no teeth belong. And the eyes? They were fully hollow now. Black. Empty. Hungry. Lily screamed. Don't look at it, run! TJ stumbled forward as another roar shook the bone-like floor beneath them. The colony collapses the path. Without warning, the tunnel ahead shifted violently, roots twisting sideways, walls closing, ceiling lowering as if the entire passage wanted to crush them inside. Aaron pointed left. New tunnel, move! They dove into the left path seconds before the main tunnel collapsed behind them like a throat closing. But the left path wasn't stable. The ground sloped downward sharply, a slick decline covered in pulsing, bioluminescent tendrils. Ryan yelled, We're sliding! The group lost their footing. All at once. And went hurtling down the living slope. TJ grabbed Lily's hand and held tight as they slid downward, picking up speed. Sophie screamed behind them. Alex tried to brake with his boots, but the floor offered no grip. The slide twisted left. Right. Down. Faster. Deeper. Then, they were launched. Free fall. Lily screamed. TJ! TJ wrapped his arms around her midair. And they crashed onto something soft. Wet. Moving. TJ gagged. What the hell? Aaron yelled from above them as the others landed in staggered impacts. Ryan hit next. Then Sophie. Then Alex. Then Mira. Everyone groaned in pain. Then they all froze. Because the surface beneath them was breathing. The memory cradle. They had fallen into a cavern far wider than any before. A giant hollow. A living one. The ground rose and fell beneath them in slow, steady waves. Hundreds. No. Thousands. Of root fibers covered the ground, pulsing with faint light. And embedded between them. Bodies. Human bodies. Dozens. Hundreds. Faces of the old village. Faces of past explorers. Faces half fused into the root bed, staring upward, mouths open in silent screams. Sophie screamed and scrambled backward. Alex grabbed her before she stepped on a corpse that twitched. Mira whispered, horrified. This is the cradle. Lily shook violently. What does that mean? Mira knelt, trembling. This is where the colony stores the unmerged. The ones it rejects. The ones it tries to remake. TJ swallowed hard. And the ones it failed to copy? Mira nodded. Those too. Aaron pushed TJ behind him protectively. This entire floor is a graveyard of unfinished versions. TJ swept his eyes across the chamber. Bodies. Root-bound shapes. Memory fragments fused into organic walls. Faces he swore he recognized even though he'd never seen them. Sophie sobbed. They're still alive. No, Mira whispered. Just dreaming. Then, a voice echoed across the chamber. Not a whisper. Not a memory. A living voice. TJ. The colony jack dropped from the ceiling. It landed on all fours, spine cracking loudly, head twisting almost 180 degrees to stare straight at him. Sophie screamed. Ryan raised his shotgun. Aaron stepped in front of TJ. But the colony jack didn't attack. It walked. Slowly. Like a predator savoring the moment. Its voice was a chorus of echoes. You were made to return to me. TJ's jaw clenched. No. Lily stepped forward, tears in her eyes, voice shaking but fierce. Stay away from him. The colony jack's roots twitched in amusement. Love, it said in a distorted voice. A human illusion. He had that before. When he was me. TJ stepped forward, anger boiling through the fear. I was never you. The colony jack smiled in the dark. Its face twisted into something half TJ, half Jack. and half the ritual child. You will be. It lunged. Aaron fired. Ryan fired. Sophie screamed. Alex grabbed Lily. Mira dragged TJ. But it wasn't enough. The colony jack ripped through the memory cradle floor, scattering bodies aside like dolls, bursting upward. Straight toward TJ. The whole colony roared. There can be only one. TJ braced for impact. When suddenly, a hand grabbed the colony jack's ankle. Not a dead hand. Not a root hand. A human hand. A voice croaked out. Not him. TJ's eyes widened. Lily gasped. Sophie screamed. Ryan froze. Mira stared in shock. Aaron whispered, Jack! From the memory cradle floor, half fused into the roots but still conscious. Jack pulled the colony jack down. With everything he had left. His voice was broken, warped, but unmistakably his. You don't get to take my friend. The chamber shook. The colony jack snarled. TJ screamed. Lily cried. Mira covered her mouth. Jack's eyes, bloody, exhausted, dying, locked on TJ. Finish it, Jack whispered. End it. The colony jack roared. And TJ had to choose. End of Chapter 6. Chapter 7, The Shadow That Carries Your Name. Part 1. Jack's human hand, the last part of him untouched by the colony, clamped around the ankle of his own grotesque replacement. The colony jack convulsed, twisting violently, root tendons snapping under the strain. TJ! Lily screamed. TJ lunged forward instinctively. Aaron grabbed him mid-run. No! Aaron barked. You go near them and the colony wins. But Jack! TJ yelled, voice breaking. Jack pulled again, dragging the colony jack half into the root bed. His face was twisted with agony, body half fused to the memory cradle, but his eyes were still Jack. Bloody. Fading. But Jack. And he spoke through clenched teeth. TJ, finish this. The colony jack roared, a layered, multi-voice scream that made the walls tremble. Every corpse embedded in the cradle twisted in unison. Mira grabbed TJ's arm. TJ, listen, Jack's holding it. He's giving you one chance. Ryan cocked the shotgun. I'll blast it. No! Mira snapped. If you miss or hit Jack, the colony takes both. Alex looked around frantically. What do we do? The colony jack slammed its hand into the floor, trying to brace and pull free. Roots shot from its back, impaling the walls. Sophie dropped to her knees in horror. It's absorbing everything. Lily grabbed TJ by the shirt, tears streaming, voice shaking violently. TJ, if you don't choose something right now, we lose Jack and you. TJ swallowed hard. His heartbeat thundered. His breath came in sharp gasps. Jack's voice, weak but steady, cut through the chaos. Don't let it take your life too. TJ took a step toward the colony jack. Lily grabbed his hand hard. TJ, no! You touch it, it'll merge you. He turned to her, eyes fierce and breaking. I'm not touching it. He knelt beside Jack, the real Jack, carefully avoiding the roots. Hey, TJ whispered, voice cracking. Jack grinned faintly, blood on his teeth. Hey, man. You're not dying for me, TJ said. Jack coughed. Already did, idiot. TJ almost broke right there. But there was no time. The only way out. Mira crouched beside them, face pale, voice shaking. TJ, the colony jack won't die from bullets. It won't die from fire. The only thing that weakens it is you, rejecting it. TJ blinked. I already rejected the echo. Mira nodded. This is different. This thing is made of your stolen identity. You have to confront it directly, but without letting it touch you. How? TJ asked. Mira looked at him steadily. Use your voice. TJ frowned. What? She tightened her grip on his arm. The colony built this thing from your memories, your emotions, your pain. Your identity is its weapon. So your identity is the only thing that can break it. Ryan yelled from behind. It's breaking free, hurry! TJ stood. The colony Jack tore free from some of the root bed, dragging Jack with it. Jack screamed in agony. TJ shouted. Hey! The colony Jack stopped. It turned. It smiled TJ's smile. TJ stepped forward. I'm done running. Lily froze in terror. TJ. He squeezed her hand once. Let go. Stepped away. The colony Jack tilted its head. Its voice came out sharp, eager. So you finally accept? TJ cut it off. I am TJ. I am not you. And I am not your missing piece. The colony Jack hissed. TJ stepped closer. You are a memory of pain. A memory I didn't choose. Roots across the chamber recoiled. Sophie gasped. What's happening? Mira whispered. He's unraveling it. TJ's voice rose, steady despite the tremor in his hands. You're not me. You're a monster built from my trauma. You don't get to replace me. You don't get to erase me. And you sure as hell don't get to take my friends. The chamber shook as if TJ's words were tearing through the colony's mind. The colony Jack snarled, its voice breaking. Stop. You are supposed to belong. TJ stepped even closer. Close enough to feel the heat of the roots. Close enough to smell the memory fluid leaking from its wounds. Then he whispered the final blow. I belong to myself. The effect was instant. The breaking. The colony Jack convulsed violently. Its stolen features flickered. Jack. The child. TJ. The echo. Jack. TJ. The child. Its form crumpled like collapsing scaffolding. It screamed, not in pain, in disbelief. No. I am you. I am you. I am. TJ shouted. You are nothing. The chamber exploded with light. Roots snapped. Corpses shook. Walls cracked. The colony Jack's body writhed, shrank, twisted in on itself, pulled inward as if its very existence was being erased. Jack's hand slipped from its ankle. The replacement form collapsed into the root bed. Then dissolved into black dust. Gone. Silence fell. The surviving Jack, the real one, sagged back onto the cradle floor, half buried in root fibers. He looked up at TJ, vision fading. Told you. You were the real one. TJ knelt again, grabbing Jack's hand. You're gonna be okay, TJ whispered. Jack gave a small smile. Liar. His breath shook. His eyes glazed. And his pulse slowed. Sophie let out a choked sob. Ryan turned away. Alex pressed his hands to his face. Lily dropped to her knees. Mira whispered softly. Wait. The chamber began to vibrate again. But not with rage. With recognition. Dozens of root lines around Jack glowed. Light poured inward toward his body. Not consuming him. But stabilizing him. Myra's eyes widened. Oh my God! What? TJ demanded. She pointed at Jack. He rejected the colony too. He broke its replacement. He fought back from inside. TJ stared. Jack's chest rose again, faintly. Barely. But rising. Mira whispered. He's still alive! Lily gasped. Sophie cried harder. Ryan exhaled shakily. Aaron looked stunned. But the moment of relief ended instantly. When the chamber shook harder. Not from anger. From summoning. Mira stood straighter, horrified. TJ. The colony isn't done. It's bringing you to the final chamber. Aaron asked. The what? Mira swallowed. The origin point. Where the first ritual happened. Where the first core was born. The colony wants a final confrontation. Her voice dropped to a whisper. With the first child. TJ felt a cold rip through his chest. Because he knew exactly who that meant. Lily grabbed his hand again, eyes terrified. TJ. Don't go alone. TJ looked at her. Then at Jack, barely holding on. Then at his team. And he whispered, I'm not leaving any of you behind. The floor beneath them cracked open. And the colony pulled them downward. Toward the deepest point of the nightmare. The beginning of everything. End of Chapter 7, Part 1. Chapter 7, The Shadow That Carries Your Name. Part 2. The floor split open beneath them. Not like a trapdoor. Like a wound splitting along ancient scars. Roots pulled apart. Branches twisted back. The ground cracked in a spiral around the group. The memory cradle, the bodies, the roots, the pulses of stolen identity, peeled away like the layers of a giant lung revealing its core. A deep, oppressive wind rushed upward. Cold, thick, metallic. Like breathing inside a grave. Sophie clutched Alex as they slid. Ryan and Aaron grounded themselves against the root pillar. Lily refused to let go of TJ's hand. Mira shouted over the rising roar. This isn't collapse. It's a summoning! The chamber cracked open completely. And the floor beneath them dropped. They fell. 20 feet. 30. 40. TJ wrapped both arms around Lily, turning his body to shield her. Aaron grabbed Ryan midair. Alex held Sophie tight. Mira hit the ground first, rolling, gasping, training saving her spine. TJ landed next with a brutal thud, pain shooting through his shoulder. They groaned. Coughed. Struggled to their feet. Then they froze. Because the place they landed in wasn't just another chamber. It was the lowest point of the colony. The beginning room. The origin point. The birthplace of the first core. And the air felt like death with a heartbeat. The origin chamber. The chamber was enormous, circular, and shrouded in a cold blue haze. The ceiling vanished into darkness, supported by colossal rib-like arches that looked older than the village above. The floor was smooth bone-like root, polished, scarred, and etched with thousands of overlapping symbols. Symbols TJ recognized. The same symbol from the map he didn't remember writing. The same mark burned into his visions. A split circle with two jaws. Lily whispered, TJ, it's the mark you circled. TJ's skin crawled. Mira nodded, eyes wide. This is where they did it. Did what? Ryan demanded. Mira stepped forward, voice low. The first ritual. The creation of the core. And the sacrifice. She turned to TJ. Of the child. TJ's knees nearly buckled. Alex whispered, horrified. You mean, the kid that looked like TJ? Mira nodded slowly. The original. The one the colony still thinks TJ is. The chamber trembled. Because something heard her. Something that wasn't sleeping. A soft, scraping sound echoed behind them. Like fingernails dragging across stone. Lily gripped TJ's arm. Don't turn around. He turned anyway. And the breath left his lungs. The first child. Standing in the darkest corner of the chamber was a small figure. A child. Not the echo. Not the root child from before. This one was different. More solid. More human. More conscious. But twisted. Like something born human. And then taught to be something else. It stepped closer. One slow step. Then another. Bare feet scraping the floor. Head lowered. Long hair matted with soil and sap. Skin pale, cracked, threaded with black roots beneath the surface. The child lifted its face. And TJ staggered backward. Because the face was his. Not a warped version. Not a corrupted copy. Exactly him. But younger. Starving. Scared. Hollow. A perfect memory of the person he once was, before he became him. Lily gasped. Oh my God! Sophie covered her mouth, crying. Alex stepped behind her, shielding her eyes. Ryan whispered, What the hell are we looking at? Myra's voice trembled for the first time. The colony's true memory. The first vessel. The child who resisted, and ran. Aaron stared at TJ. You're telling me that is? Mira nodded. That was TJ. Before TJ. TJ felt his breath shake out of him. The child looked up fully now, eyes filled with a sadness so deep it felt like drowning. Then it spoke. Its voice was a whisper made of broken glass. You were supposed to stay with me. The chamber dropped into silence. TJ couldn't look away. He whispered, I don't remember you. The child shook, hands trembling. That's because they hid me. TJ's stomach twisted. Who hid you? The child's eyes filled with tears that weren't liquid. Thick sap-like fluid dripping down its cheeks. The colony did. And then it built you. To replace me. The team froze. Even the colony seemed to go still. Lily whispered, voice trembling. TJ. What is he saying? The child took another step. Closer. Close enough that TJ could see the roots pulsing beneath its skin like veins. You were grown from me. TJ felt the world tilt. Grown? Yes. I fought the ritual. So the colony made another. Made you. TJ's pulse hammered. He stumbled back. Lily caught him. No, TJ whispered. No, I had a life. I had a family. The child's face twisted, not in anger, but grief. Those were planted. TJ's throat closed. I am the real one. And you are the correction. The improved memory. Lily stepped forward, fierce. He is not your replacement. He is his own person. The child ignored her. He stared only at TJ. Come back. Finish the life I didn't get to live. Merge with me. TJ backed up, trembling. I'm not yours. The child's head jerked violently. A sudden, unnatural snap. Its voice layered with something deeper. Then you are a thief. The chamber exploded with motion. Roots burst from the walls. The ceiling cracked open. The floor pulsed like a beating drum. The colony wasn't inviting TJ. It wasn't hunting him. It was judging him. Ryan yelled. We need cover! Move! Roots struck the floor like tentacles. Aaron shoved TJ behind a fallen arch. Lily grabbed his shoulders. TJ, look at me, whatever it says, whatever it thinks. You are not it. But the child stepped into the center of the chamber. And all the roots bent toward it like worship. Its voice boomed through the chamber. You are the shadow of my life. You stole my future. And you will return what you took. TJ shouted back. I didn't take anything from you. The child screamed. You took me. And the floor split open beneath the child, revealing a structure so massive, so ancient, so alive, that the air itself trembled. The primordial core. The first heart. The original mouth. The root of the colony's consciousness. The entire chamber went dark except for the monstrous globe below. The child pointed at it. Return to me. Return to us. Return home. TJ felt a force pulling at his chest. Like something was trying to tear his soul out of his body. Lily screamed, grabbing him, anchoring him with everything she had. But the pull got stronger. The ground cracked. The child stepped closer. Its hand reached for TJ's face. And the chapter ends on the moment. TJ decides whether to run or face the origin head on. End of Chapter 7, Part 2. Chapter 7, The Shadow That Carries Your Name. Part 3. The child's hand hovered inches from TJ's face. Not touching. Not grabbing. Just reaching. Like it was trying to pull the truth out of him without ever laying a finger on his skin. The primordial core pulsed beneath him, casting a pale blue light up through the cracked floor. Every beat sent a shock through the chamber, tugging at TJ's chest like a hook lodged behind his heart. Lily dug her heels in, grabbing TJ's arm with both hands, pulling back with everything she had. TJ, don't let it pull you! TJ's body trembled violently. He gripped her hand, knuckles white, teeth clenched. I'm trying! But the child's voice wasn't screaming anymore. It was soft. Gentle. Almost human. I didn't want you. I didn't ask for you. They made you when I failed. TJ shook his head, breath ragged. I'm not your replacement. The child interrupted, voice rising. You are my rewrite! The chamber thundered. Roots shot upward like spears. Aaron shoved Mira aside as one nearly impaled her head. Ryan fired wildly at another root before it snatched Sophie. Alex dragged Sophie under a cracked archway. Everyone was fighting to stay alive. But TJ was fighting something worse. The pull. That invisible force latched onto him again, dragging him forward, dragging him toward the child. Toward the primordial core waiting below. The child whispered slowly. You were made to finish what I couldn't. I resisted the ritual, and they punished me. But you were their second chance. TJ's heart twisted. I didn't choose any of this. The child's face contorted, a mix of grief and jealousy. I didn't choose to die. The pull intensified. Lily screamed. TJ, don't you dare go to it. She threw her arms around him from behind, anchoring him against the force. The child stared at her coldly. She wasn't there for me. The air temperature dropped instantly. Lily's grip tightened. You didn't have me, she hissed. But he does. The child's face cracked. Literally cracked. Splitting along old ritual scars. Its voice deepened. He doesn't deserve you. TJ felt like he'd been punched in the chest. But Lily's response was instant, vicious. Then earn me, asshole! The entire chamber twitched, even the roots hesitated. TJ almost laughed through the pain. But the child snapped its head back toward him. You were made to replace my life. TJ stepped forward a single inch, dragging Lily with him. No. His voice wasn't soft now. It was steady. Sharp. Cutting. You're not my past. You're not my blueprint. You're a kid who suffered. And I'm sorry for that. But I'm not your second draft. The child trembled, voice warping. You have to be. TJ's voice rose. No. I don't. The primordial core beneath them pulsed harder, the strongest pulse yet. A beam of light shot straight upward through the cracks, engulfing TJ and the child in a cold glow. The pull became a yank. Lily screamed. Aaron grabbed her. Ryan dove forward to help. Alex helped Mira anchor them. But the force was too strong. TJ was being dragged toward the opening. Sophie cried out. He's going to fall in. The child whispered, almost pleading. Finish my life. Give me what they stole. Merge with me. TJ stopped being pulled. He yanked himself forward voluntarily, stepping closer to the child. Everyone froze. Lily screamed. No! TJ, stop! Aaron cursed. Ryan yelled. Mira reached for him. But TJ moved with purpose. He stepped right in front of the child. The colony went completely silent. Everything waited. TJ knelt down slowly. Not in surrender. In decision. He looked the child in the eyes. Eyes that were his. Eyes that weren't his. Eyes full of ancient hurt. And TJ said the words that shattered the entire chamber. You're not my past. You're a child who never got a chance. I can't give you my life. But I won't let yours end in pain. The child's breath caught. Its hands stopped shaking. Its head tilted like it was trying to understand. TJ reached out and placed his hand gently against the child's cheek. Not merging. Not surrendering. Just compassion. The colony reacted instantly. Roots coiled, walls shuddered, the primordial core screamed in violation. Mira shouted. It's going to attack! TJ, get away! But the child didn't move. It whispered. Is this kindness? TJ swallowed hard. Yes. The child blinked slowly, like the concept was foreign. Does it hurt? Sometimes, TJ said, voice breaking. Why give it to me? Because you deserved it. The child trembled. Its voice cracked. I was so alone. TJ nodded. I know. And scared. I know. And I didn't want to die. TJ's voice dropped to a whisper. You don't have to anymore. The child's body shook violently. Its face flickered, starving child, screaming creature, core fragment, TJ, memory, fragment, child. Then it collapsed against TJ's chest. And sobbed. Not a monster's cry. A child sobbing. Broken. Shaking. Human. TJ wrapped his arms around the small, trembling figure. Lily covered her mouth, tears streaming. Ryan lowered his shotgun. Aaron looked away. Alex helped Sophie stand. Mara wiped her eyes. The colony shrieked. The primordial core pulsed like a dying star. Light exploded outward. But for the first time, the core's pull weakened. Because the first child, the original victim, the origin of the entire nightmare, was no longer trying to replace TJ. He was letting go. TJ whispered into the child's hair. It wasn't your fault. The child shuddered. And whispered back. Then let me rest. The primordial core screamed. Cracks raced across the chamber floor. Roots recoiled. The colony was breaking. The child looked up at TJ one last time. Its face softened. Human. Free. Thank you? Then, it dissolved. Slowly. Gently. Like ashes lifting in warm wind. And the chamber collapsed. End of Chapter 7. Chapter 8. The Core That Refuses to Die. Part 1. The moment the child dissolved, the entire chamber screamed. Not sound. Not vibration. A psychic shriek that cut straight into their bones. Sophie dropped to her knees, hands over her ears. Alex pulled her close, eyes wide, pupils blown with fear. Ryan cursed, staggering backward. Aaron braced against the wall, gripping his weapon. Lily clung to TJ. TJ, what did you do? The primordial core, the monstrous heart below, convulsed like a dying animal. Veins snapped. Roots tore themselves from the walls. The floor split open in jagged, violent cracks radiating inward. Mira screamed. The colony is collapsing! Move now! But TJ couldn't move. Not right away. His knees felt weak. His chest felt hollow. His arms still tingled where the child had been. He whispered. I set him free. Lily grabbed both sides of his face, forcing him to lock eyes with her. You did. You did the right thing. Her voice broke. But now we have to live long enough for that to matter. Go! She yanked him back just as a massive root slammed down where TJ had been standing 3 seconds earlier. The entire floor shuddered. The cracks widened. And beneath them, the primordial core bellowed. Not in grief, but in rage. The voice that echoed up was not a child. It was not an echo. It was the colony itself. A deep, ancient, furious voice that spoke directly into their skulls. You took what is mine. Ryan staggered, clutching his head. Mira, why is it talking like? Run, you idiot! Mira yelled. The colony's consciousness is waking. Aaron pointed toward the far corridor, a narrow tunnel splitting open as if inviting escape. That way! Move! The escape run. They sprinted. The tunnel wasn't stable. It twisted, constricted, breathed. Roots whipped across the path like tendrils of a drowning creature dragging itself upright. Alex shoved Sophie ahead of him. Ryan shot a flailing root that nearly trapped Lily. Aaron hacked at a vine with his survival knife. Mira ran behind TJ, shouting directions. Don't step on the dark roots. They're decoy nerves. They'll paralyze you. Lily leapt over a nest of writhing tendrils. Sophie crawled under a collapsing arch. Ryan grabbed her backpack just before the ceiling came down. The entire tunnel lurched sideways. TJ grabbed Lily before she fell into a gap that hadn't been there 5 seconds earlier. Lily gasped, voice tight with fear. This place is reshaping to kill us! Mira yelled back. And oh, it's trying to isolate TJ. If it separates him, We lose him forever! Ryan shouted. Over my dead body! The colony roared again. Return what you took. The roots ahead surged, blocking the path. Aaron didn't hesitate. He slammed his shoulder into a fragile growth and tore through it, clearing a narrow opening. Go! They squeezed through. Just as the root wall behind them snapped shut like giant jaws. The spine corridor. They spilled into a long, straight tunnel. At first it looked like all the others. Until they realized what it was made of. Spine bones. A massive vertebral column stretching down the length of the passage, roots woven through each bone like veins through a fossil. Sophie whimpered. What the hell is this? Mira didn't slow. The colony's structural nerve spine. The fastest route out. Ryan blinked. Fastest? What's the catch? Myra's voice went flat. It reacts to fear. Alex muttered. Oh great. Perfect. TJ whispered. I'm not scared. Lily gripped his hand. TJ. Be scared later. Be alive now. Then the spine moved. Not ahead. Not behind. Under them. It rolled like the back of a sleeping leviathan turning beneath their feet. Everyone fell. Sophie screamed. Alex hit the wall. Ryan rolled across the vertebrae. Aaron grabbed TJ to keep him from tumbling forward. Mira scrambled up, shouting. Do not panic, the spine can sense emotion. If you panic it will throw you. Ryan yelled. I'm panicking. The spine bucked violently, sending him airborne. TJ lunged, grabbing Ryan's wrist midair as the man screamed. TJ gritted his teeth. Not today! He slammed Ryan down onto the bone walkway, saving him by inches. But the colony had felt the emotion spike. The spine shuddered again. Tilting. Tilting. Tilting sideways. Lily screamed, sliding across bone. Sophie tumbled, Alex diving to catch her. Aaron slammed his hand into a root, anchoring himself and Mira. TJ lost footing. Grabbed Lily. Grabbed a protruding rib. Held with everything he had. The colony roared louder. I will not let you leave! TJ shouted back. I'm done being your prisoner! The entire hallway reacted. The vertebrae cracked. The spine twisted. The floor rolled. And then, a vertical shaft opened ahead. A drop. No stairs. No ladder. Nothing. Just a deep, vertical escape throat. Mira gasped. That's an exit shaft. If we can jump in. Ryan yelled. We'll die. Mira snapped. Better than being rewritten. The colony shrieked. You will belong. Roots surged behind them. Lily looked at TJ, fear in her eyes, but her jaw set with determination. TJ. Jump with me. He squeezed her hand. I won't let go. Aaron yelled. Everybody, now! TJ jumped first, pulling Lily with him. Then the others jumped after. As they fell into the darkness, the shaft illuminated with glowing veins. And the colony whispered one last time. I will take you back. Then, the shaft dropped them into a new chamber. The last chamber. The lung room. The colony's largest breathing organ. And the only exit was a massive, pulsing airway leading upward. Breathing. In. And out. As if inviting them. Or preparing to crush them. TJ stood, chest heaving. We end this. Lily nodded, gripping his shoulder. We do. End of Chapter 8, Part 1. Chapter 8, The Core That Refuses to Die. Part 2. They hit the ground hard. Not stone. Not root. Flesh. The chamber they dropped into was enormous, circular, and alive, its walls expanding and contracting in slow, heavy breaths. A wet, rhythmic thunder echoed through the space. Hum. 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 Alex staggered up, face pale. Oh God, this is a lung. A giant lung. Mira nodded grimly. The primary respiratory organ. It pulls in air from the surface tunnels and pushes it through the colony. Ryan spat blood. Translation: This place is about to choke us to death. Sophie gagged. The air, it tastes like iron. She wasn't exaggerating. TJ's throat burned with every breath. The air was thick with memory particles, the residue of lost identities drifting like smoke. Lily coughed, covering her mouth. We can't stay here long. Aaron scanned the chamber. There, that tunnel. He pointed to the far side. A massive airway, pulsing open and shut like a gigantic throat, inhaling and exhaling. It was the only exit. But every time it inhaled, the entire room shook. And every time it exhaled, it roared like a collapsing cave. Mira shouted over the sound. TJ, the colony cannot fully collapse until you are either dead or absorbed. This lung chamber will try to do one of those two things. TJ nodded. Then the lung exhaled. Not air. Tendrils. Dozens of thin, root-like cords snapped outward, whipping through the chamber like flailing tentacles. Ryan yelled. Move! One tendril wrapped around his leg. TJ leapt forward, grabbing Ryan's arm and pulling hard. Ryan screamed as the tendril tightened, digging into skin. TJ braced his foot and dragged with everything he had. The colony hissed. Return. Mira hacked the tendril with her knife. It snapped, spraying black-blue fluid. Ryan fell backward, gasping. Thank you, Jesus, thank you. But there was no time. More tendrils shot outward. One snagged Sophie's ankle. Alex grabbed her, but another tendril wrapped her wrist, pulling her away. She screamed. It's dragging me, Alex! TJ and Ryan dove, grabbing Sophie's shoulders while Alex pulled from the other side. The tendril was too strong. Sophie's body slid across the floor toward the airway. Lily cried out. Cut it! Aaron stepped forward and fired a burst from his sidearm. The tendril burst apart. Sophie collapsed into Alex's arms, sobbing uncontrollably. The chamber inhaled again. The walls expanded like a monstrous lung filling. Then, it stopped. Silence. Stillness. Everyone froze. That's not good, Mira whispered. The entire room shuddered. Then the walls contracted with all their force. Ryan shouted, Brace! They barely braced. The walls rushed inward, crushing air, crushing space. Trying to crush them. TJ grabbed Lily and slammed both of them behind a rib-like arch jutting from the wall. Mira tackled Aaron behind another. Alex shielded Sophie as they dove under a bone outcrop. Ryan took cover behind a cluster of hardened roots. The walls slammed together in the center, missing them by inches. The impact shook the chamber like an earthquake. The lung expanded again, this time pulling inward violently, creating a massive suction. Alex screamed. It's trying to suck us into the airway! Sophie shrieked as her feet slid across the floor. Lily clung to TJ. TJ, hold me! He wrapped both arms around her. I've got you! Ryan's boots lost grip. He slid several feet before grabbing a rib. Aaron drove his knife into the floor root to keep from being pulled. Mira held Sophie's backpack as the girl screamed through tears. The suction intensified. The airway pulsed wide open. The colony's voice tore through their skulls. I will reclaim what was mine! TJ roared back. You have nothing that belongs to you! The lung screamed. The suction became a vortex. Everyone began sliding toward the airway. Aaron lost his grip first. He slid across the floor rapidly toward them all. TJ lunged, caught Aaron's arm at the last second. Aaron yelled. Let go, TJ! You'll go with me! Shut up! TJ roared back. But he felt Lily losing her grip on his shirt. He couldn't hold both. TJ! Lily screamed, fingers slipping. He couldn't choose. He couldn't. Then Mira seized Lily's wrist, anchoring her. I've got her! Hold Aaron! TJ screamed. Hold on, damn you! The suction grew stronger. Aaron's feet lifted off the ground. His body was nearly horizontal now. The airway's interior glowed. Pulsing. welcoming, hungry. If TJ lost grip for even a second, Aaron would vanish into the colony's respiratory throat and never come back. TJ's shoulder popped. White-hot pain shot down his arm. But he didn't let go. Lily cried. TJ, your arm! Don't care! The lungs suddenly stopped inhaling. Aaron collapsed into TJ, gasping, shaking. The chamber fell silent. Every heartbeat felt like thunder. Then the airway, the monstrous throat, began opening wider, much wider, as if preparing for a final inhalation. Mira yelled, TJ, the colony is not trying to kill you anymore. It's trying to swallow you. The airway pulsed like a mouth preparing to feed. The walls tensed. The suction built. Ryan yelled, shoot it! Aaron fired into the airway. The bullets sparked off the inner membrane harmlessly. Alex threw a flare inside. The airway inhaled it, and the flame died instantly. Sophie clung to him, crying. Lily screamed, TJ, run now! The lung chamber inhaled. Harder than before. Hard enough to tear the world apart. TJ grabbed Lily, Ryan, Sophie, Alex, Aaron, Mira. And all of them ran for the exit tunnel on the far side of the lung. But the suction was impossible. The colony screamed, you are mine! And I take you back! Now! The airway inhaled. The team's feet lifted. Everyone screamed. And TJ realized the truth. If he didn't do something in the next 3 seconds, the colony would swallow all of them alive. End of Chapter 8, Part 2. Chapter 8, The Core That Refuses to Die. Part 3. The lung chamber inhaled. Not air, gravity. A crushing force ripped across the floor, pulling everything toward the massive airway like a black hole opening in the center of the room. TJ felt his entire body lift from the ground. Lily screamed as her feet slid violently out from under her. Sophie lost her grip on Alex and tumbled backward, shrieking his name. Ryan's shotgun flew out of his hands, sucked down the airway and disappearing into the throat with a wet slurp. Alex dove for Sophie, caught her by the wrist, and immediately began sliding both of them toward the gaping maw. Aaron grabbed a root pillar. It snapped instantly. TJ! Mira screamed, her legs lifting off the ground as she tumbled in the air. TJ planted his feet. The ground ripped them loose. He flew backward. Lily's hand tore from his. Everyone screamed. And that's when TJ made the decision the colony never expected. Not to fight the pull. Not to run. Not to grab the floor. He dived toward the airway. Straight into the suction. Lily screamed. And oh! TJ! He wasn't letting the colony take them. He was giving it himself. But on his terms. The suction increased tenfold as he neared the throat. Roots whipped around like tentacles, trying to grab him. TJ twisted midair, dodging a spike of bone that could have taken off his head. The airway loomed ahead. A giant breathing maw. One more inhale and the whole team would be gone. TJ reached for the primary valve roots on the airway's upper arch. The pulsing cords that stretched into the lung wall like tension cables. If he could tear one, just one, the airway would close. And if it closed while inhaling, the whole chamber would choke. Maybe collapse. Maybe explode. It didn't matter. Everyone would survive. He slammed his hands onto the biggest valve root. The colony shrieked. Do not touch that. You do not command me. Then, TJ yanked. A wet snap ripped through the entire chamber. The airway jerked. Shrieked. Then slammed shut. The suction reversed instantly. A massive shockwave blasted outward. TJ was thrown backward through the air. Lily caught him. Not perfectly, but enough to break his fall. The others crashed onto the bone floor. The whole chamber convulsed. Collapsed. Then stopped moving. For 3 long seconds, nobody breathed. Then Alex whispered, "Holy shit!" Ryan coughed blood. Aaron sat up, dazed. Mira stared at the sealed airway in awe. Sophie sobbed into Alex's chest. Lily held TJ as if he'd almost died, because he had. Then, the colony spoke again. Quiet. Cold. Hateful. Inside TJ's skull. You think you can break my breath? The chamber shuddered again. Worse than before. Veins burst. Roots tore. The ceiling cracked. The entire lung was dying. Mira stood, voice sharp. TJ, you didn't kill it. You suffocated it. And now it's going to collapse the entire layer. Ryan yelled. Then we run. Aaron pointed toward a narrow, shaking tunnel splitting open on the far side. There. Upwards tunnel. It leads to the mid-core roots. Lily pulled TJ toward it. Come on. Move. They sprinted through the collapsing lung, dodging falling bone shards, snapping ribs, exploding root clusters. The ceiling split behind them, flooding the chamber with dust and spores. The floor caved in sections. A massive root smashed down inches behind Ryan, the shockwave knocking everyone forward. Sophie stumbled. Alex grabbed her. They pressed on. TJ pulled Lily, their hands locked so tightly it hurt. Mira shouted directions. Left now. Duck. Jump. Keep going. They burst into the upward tunnel. But the lung didn't let them go without a final blow. A massive respiratory spasm rocked the entire organ. A shockwave blasted down the tunnel. A wall of force. A bellow. A dying beast's final attack. It hit them like a hurricane. Everyone was thrown forward. Slammed into the tunnel walls. Rolled upward like rag dolls. TJ smashed into a root pillar, pain exploding through his ribs. Lily hit the floor hard. Aaron tumbled over Ryan. Alex shielded Sophie with his back. Mira clung to a root to avoid snapping her neck. Everything spun. Everything collapsed. Everything roared. Then silence. Complete, suffocating silence. They were still alive. But the lung was gone. And the colony was not dead. It was angry. The tunnel ahead shook violently. And a deep, hateful voice filled the entire chamber system. I will not die alone. TJ stood, shaking, bleeding, furious. He wiped his mouth. Looked up toward the next chamber. And growled. Then come try me. Lily grabbed his hand, breath shaking. TJ. Don't push it. You're hurt. He squeezed her hand back. I don't care. Ryan smirked despite blood on his lips. That's the TJ I know. Aaron nodded. Sophie wiped her face. Alex steadied her. Mira stepped beside TJ. No more running, she said. And the entire tunnel system above them began collapsing inward, forcing them upward. Toward the final chamber. The core. The brain. The colony's last stand. End of Chapter 8. Chapter 9. The Brain That Remembers Every Death. Part 1. The upward tunnel twisted around itself like a broken staircase carved inside a dying creature. Ribs jutted out of the walls, fractured from the collapse below. Veins snapped and leaked bright blue fluids that hissed on contact with the air. Every breath burned. Every step groaned under their boots. The colony wasn't breathing anymore. It was thrashing. Angry. Panicked. Cornered. And cornered things become dangerous. Mira led the group through the trembling corridor. Hurry! She yelled over the rumbling. The collapse is moving upward. Alex, holding Sophie close to him, asked. Why isn't it just killing us instantly? Mira didn't stop moving. Because it doesn't want us dead. It wants TJ. Ryan snorted bitterly. Good luck taking him. TJ didn't respond. He didn't need to. His jaw was clenched tight. His face streaked with dirt and dried blood. His shoulder throbbing from where he yanked the airway root. But his eyes. Clear. Sharp. Done running. Lily squeezed his hand as they climbed. Hey, she whispered, breath shaking. You okay? TJ gave a humorless smile. No. But I'm not stopping. The tunnel opened suddenly into a vast expanse of darkness. A chamber so large it swallowed the light from Myra's flashlight hole. Ryan aimed his remaining pistol into the void. Where the hell are we now? Myra answered softly, almost reverently. The cognitive core. Alex frowned. The what? It's the colony's mind, Myra explained. The place where all memories go. The place where it thinks. Sophie shivered. Why does it feel like it's watching us? TJ inhaled. Because it was. All at once, the chamber lit up. Not from lights. From neurons. Tens of thousands of pulsing lights spread across the ceiling and walls. Like a massive brain firing all its synapses at once. Each pulse sent a ripple of sound through the chamber. Whispers in hundreds of languages, most of them dead. Alex whispered, "Oh my God!" Ryan took a step back. This thing is huge. Aaron nodded grimly. And alive, the core responded. A deep, resonant echo filled the chamber, not from any one place, but everywhere at once. TJ. The sound vibrated their bones. Lily pulled TJ back instinctively. Don't answer it. The core didn't care. You broke the lung. Veins on the ceiling pulsed harder. You freed the first child. The whispers on the walls grew louder. You unmade my replacement. A low vibration rattled the floor. You have wounded me. TJ stared into the pulsing darkness. Good. The chamber went completely still. Every neuron stopped firing. Every whisper fell silent. Even the roots seemed to recoil. Then the core spoke again, this time cold enough to freeze the air. Then I will take what remains of you. The reveal of the cognitive core. A massive shape emerged from the darkness. Not a monster. Not a creature. A structure. Like a cathedral built out of nerves and bone. A towering mass of pulsing tissue, ribcages, twisted tendrils, and glowing cores fused into a shape vaguely resembling. Not human. Not animal. Something ancient. Something ritual made. Something alive. Sophie whimpered. I can't that thing. Alex held her. It's okay. Don't look. But Sophie did look. And the core looked back. Its voice shook the world. You are mine. A massive tendril shot out from the central mass, spearing into the floor in front of TJ like a living pillar. Lily jumped, pulling TJ away. Ryan fired at the tendril. Bullets disappeared into the flesh uselessly. Aaron shouted, Spread out! Move! They separated as best they could. The core released another tendril. Then another. Each one thick as a tree trunk, slamming into the chamber floor like living pylons. The chamber shook, parts collapsing. Mary yelled, It's blocking exits. IT wants to trap us. Ryan muttered, It's doing a great job. TJ stepped forward. Why me? Why am I the only one you're trying to take? The core pulsed. Because you are my only failure. That hit TJ harder than any physical blow. The core continued. The first child defied me. You replaced him and defied me again. You are a defect. TJ barked out a bitter laugh. Guess you built the wrong guy. Lily pulled on his arm. TJ, stop provoking. But the core interrupted her. I built you perfect. A memory without doubt. A life without fear. A mind that would obey. TJ froze. Lily's breath caught. Myra's eyes widened. Aaron's grip tightened. Alex whispered, It created you? The core pulsed brighter. I crafted the life you remember. Your childhood. Your parents. Your memories. TJ felt his stomach drop. What? All of it. Fabricated. Programmed. Installed. TJ stumbled backward as if physically struck. Lily grabbed him. TJ, listen to me, TJ, look at me, you're real, okay? You're. He didn't hear her. His heartbeat roared in his ears. The core continued relentlessly. You were built from the first child. A stronger mind. A weaponized memory. A permanent host of me. TJ nearly collapsed. His voice broke. No. No, that's not. I'm not. Lily held him tighter, tears streaming. TJ, don't listen. Don't. Listen. The core ignored her. You exist because I willed it. TJ clenched his teeth. His vision blurred red. And he whispered. Quiet, raw, shaking with fury. Then why didn't I obey? The core screamed. Because you are a corrupted copy. The entire chamber shook. Tendrils lashed out. Roots cracked. The core rose higher. A voice filled with rage and centuries of hunger. And now I will fix you. TJ stood tall, wiped his mouth, and whispered. Come fix me then. Lily gasped. TJ, stop! The core exploded with movement. Tendrils lunged. Roots burst from the floor. The chamber collapsed inward. Mira screamed. This is it! This is the final fight! And the colony attacked with everything it had left. End of Chapter 9, Part 1. Chapter 9, The Brain That Remembers Every Death. Part 2, The Final Fight. The core lunged first. Not with one tendril. With 6. Each one thick as a pillar, dripping with memory fluid that hissed the moment it hit the floor. Ryan fired point blank at a tendril whipping toward him. The bullet hit the surface. And dissolved. Ryan shouted. Bullets don't work! What now? Aaron ducked as another tendril smashed into a wall, splintering bone and root. Mira yelled. Move! Don't let it pin you! Alex pulled Sophie behind one of the rib arches. Sophie screamed as the ribs shattered above them. TJ dodged under a swinging tendril and rolled across the core floor. Lily ran after him. TJ, stop running at it! You can't fight that thing head on! TJ yelled back. I have to! He wasn't running at the core. He was running at its tether lines, the thick nerve cables feeding into the ceiling. The core sensed his intention instantly. You will not touch my mind! A tendril slammed down where TJ had been a heartbeat earlier. He leapt onto a rib, grabbed a root strand, and pulled himself up higher. Lily screamed below him. TJ, don't do this alone! He didn't look down. He didn't dare. Because he knew if he saw her face he would hesitate. And hesitation here meant death. The core fights to erase him. The core shifted its attack. No more tendrils. It switched to memory assault. The neurons on the ceiling pulsed rapidly, firing streams of psychic static down at TJ like lightning. Flash. A memory TJ didn't have. A house he didn't live in. A woman calling him son. A smell of burnt rice. A father's hand patting his shoulder. Flash. A birthday party. Strangers singing. Cake. Candles. Smiles that should feel warm. But felt wrong. Flash. A childhood classroom. A friend laughing. A teacher writing his name. TJ. 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 None of them real. All of them manufactured. The core's voice boomed inside his skull. See? You are what I made you. He nearly fell. Lily screamed. TJ, answer me! He heard her. But the core's voice drowned everything. You are a memory. A fabricated life. Nothing without me. TJ clung to the rib arch, shaking violently. His vision blurred. His mind cracked. He felt two versions of himself fighting inside his skull. The TJ who had lived a life. And the TJ who was built as a tool. The core pressed harder. Accept your origin. TJ snarled through clenched teeth. I don't give a damn. What you built? The core paused. Taken aback for the first time. TJ looked up at the glowing neuron mass and shouted. I made myself. The neurons flickered violently. TJ grabbed a dangling nerve cable. And ripped it free. The core screams. The chamber exploded with light and sound. A pulse burst outward like a shockwave of pure psychic energy. Ryan, Aaron, Alex, Sophie, Mira, and Lily were thrown backward, crashing into the walls. The core roared. You tear at my thoughts! You dare! Tendrils flailed wildly. One slammed into TJ's back and flung him across the room. He hit a pillar. Bones cracked. He slid to the floor, coughing blood. Lily screamed. TJ! She sprinted toward him. A tendril whipped down, aiming to crush her skull. TJ launched himself forward, tackling her out of the way. The tendril smashed the ground an inch behind her head. Lily gasped, eyes wide. TJ, that would've. I know, he grunted. The core hissed. You value them. They make you weak. TJ stood shakily, supporting Lily. No. They make me real. The core shrieked. The final strategy. Mira pulled herself to her feet, blood on her forehead. TJ, listen to me. The neural column, the main vertical cortex, that's its mind. She pointed to the massive pillar of glowing nerves behind the core. It's the only thing holding the colony together. You destroy that, the whole system collapses. Ryan yelled. TJ, you heard her, go. Alex screamed. Do not miss. Sophie cried. Please, please come back. Aaron steadied himself, voice firm. We've got your back. Lily pulled TJ close, put her forehead against his. TJ listened carefully. He looked into her shaking, furious eyes. She whispered, You end this. Then you come back to me. Alive. Promise. TJ cupped her face. Promise. Then he turned, faced the core, and ran. The charge. The core reacted instantly. The chamber turned into a hurricane of flesh and bone. Tendrils sliced through the air. Roots shot upward. Nerve cables crackled with psychic lightning. TJ dodged left. Rolled. Jumped. Ducked. Sprinted up a slanted rib. Vaulted off a vertebra. Grabbed a hanging tendon. Swung over a collapsing root cluster. And landed on a ledge overlooking the core's neural column. The core roared. You cannot unmake me. TJ shouted back. I'm not unmaking you. I'm freeing me. He leapt. Midair. Right at the glowing neural column. The core screamed. No. TJ slammed into the neural column. And tore it open with both hands. A tidal wave of psychic energy blasted outward. Like a bomb made of memories exploding. The floor ripped open. The ceiling collapsed. The neurons shattered. The core convulsed violently. Black fluid sprayed everywhere. The colony's mind, its identity, its entire consciousness, was unraveling. The core screamed its final words. You were mine. You were. You were. And then, silence. The core collapsed like a dying star. The entire chamber imploded. The colony died. Not quietly, but with a final, catastrophic collapse that swallowed the entire cavern. Lily screamed. TJ, get out of there. But the floor beneath TJ cracked. And he fell. Straight into darkness. End of Chapter 9. Chapter 10. The Man Who Walks Out Alive. Part 1. The Aftermath of a God's Death. TJ fell. Not far. Not onto rock. Not onto spikes. Not into darkness. He crashed into a slick, collapsing layer of roots that gave under his weight and swallowed him like quicksand. He flailed, tangled, pulled himself free, and crawled up onto a dying mound of flesh as the entire chamber above him imploded. A thunderous collapse shook the world. Spine arches snapped. Root pillars shattered. Neurons burned out like dying stars. The core, the massive living brain of the colony, caved inward, roaring its death cry. And TJ watched it die. It wasn't triumphant. It wasn't beautiful. It was terrifying. A god collapsing into itself. A memory of centuries crumbling to dust. Finally, the core stopped moving. TJ's breath trembled in his chest. He'd killed it. He'd killed the thing that created him. The thing that controlled him. The thing that tried to override him. He whispered to himself, "I'm free." Then the world bucked. Hard. The entire colony, not just the core, began to collapse. TJ staggered backward as the ground cracked beneath him. "TJ!" Lily's voice, faint but real, echoed from somewhere above the rubble. "TJ, answer me!" TJ scrambled toward the sound. "I'm here!" He clawed his way through shattered bone roots, pushing aside nerve clusters, ignoring the burning fluid splashing across his skin. Above him, Myra's voice cut through the chaos. "I see him, TJ, hold on!" Aaron yelled. "Don't move, we're coming down!" Ryan fired his pistol upward, signaling his location. Alex held Sophie close, shielding her from falling debris. TJ reached upward. A huge snap cut him off. The floor above shifted. Collapsed. A slab of rootstone fell straight toward him. "TJ, move!" Mira screamed. But TJ couldn't outrun it. The slab crashed on top of him. Dust erupted. The world jolted. And everything went quiet. For a full 3 seconds, no one breathed. Then Lily's voice broke. "TJ! TJ? Answer me!" Hands dug into the rubble. Aaron. Ryan. Mira. Alex. Even Sophie, crying and shaking, clawed at the debris with bleeding hands. Another slab shifted. TJ's arm appeared. Lily screamed in relief. "He's alive! Keep digging!" The team tore through the rubble. Finally, they pulled TJ free. He was bruised, bleeding, covered in dust and black fluid, barely conscious, but alive. Lily fell to her knees, grabbed his face, and kissed his forehead in pure, shattered relief. "Don't do that again," she whispered through tears. TJ smirked weakly. "No promises." They didn't have time to cry. The colony was collapsing in waves. The entire structure groaning, buckling, dying. Aaron hoisted TJ's arm over his shoulder. "All right. No speeches. No resting. Everyone move." They ran. The tunnel of the dead. The tunnel upward was collapsing behind them with every step. Chunks of root and bone dropped like meteors. The air shook with the sound of dying nerve clusters. Mira shouted, "The exit is above. I can feel fresh air. Go!" Ryan fired blindly behind them, not to hit anything, but to keep himself sane. Sophie stumbled. Alex grabbed her waist and carried her. Lily pulled TJ's other arm around her shoulders. Together they sprinted through the final throat tunnel. As the colony screamed one last psychic whisper, "TJ! You were mine!" TJ shouted back at the collapsing ceiling. "I was never yours." The tunnel behind them imploded entirely. They burst forward. The final ascent. A ladder of broken roots led upward toward a faint beam of sunlight. Alex yelled, "I see it! The surface!" Ryan climbed first, then helped Sophie up. Mira followed, then Aaron. Lily shoved TJ upward. "Go, I'm right behind you." TJ climbed, breath burning, ribs screaming in pain. The collapse thundered. A massive creaking sound echoed from below. The colony was pulling itself downward, like a giant creature curling into a final death spasms. Roots snapped like tendons. The walls convulsed. The tunnel caved in from the bottom up. "TJ, move faster!" Lily shouted, climbing behind him. He climbed. Higher. Higher. Light grew brighter. He reached out. A hand grabbed his wrist. "Ryan." "Got you!" Ryan and Alex pulled TJ out of the ground. He collapsed on grass. Real grass. Night air hit his lungs. Sophie gasped, crying, "We're out! We're out!" Mira climbed out next, coughing up dust. Aaron hauled Lily out last. "Roots, go, move!" The ground shook. The entrance collapsed inward. and the forest floor split open with a violent crack as the entire colony beneath them fell in on itself. Then, silence. Real silence. Night wind. Crickets. Trees rustling. The colony was dead. For the first time since entering the forest. They heard the world again. Lily fell forward, hugging TJ tightly. TJ held her back, breath shaking. Sophie sobbed into Alex's chest. Ryan sat down hard, staring at the sky. Mara collapsed onto her elbows, crying silently. Aaron scanned the tree-line with trembling hands, still expecting something to attack them. But nothing did. It was finally over. TJ whispered to himself. "We made it." Lily cupped his cheek. "You made it." And then, a groan. Human. Weak. Near the edge of the crater. TJ turned sharply. "Jack?" Mara gasped. "No way, he was half fused." Ryan ran to the sound. There, lying in the grass. Half conscious. Half broken. But breathing. Jack. Not infected. Not replaced. Alive. Ryan shouted. "Get over here! He's alive!" TJ crawled to him. Jack cracked an eye open. His voice was a hoarse, broken whisper. "TJ. Next time you go fight a giant tree monster, don't leave me behind." TJ laughed. A broken, exhausted laugh. And grabbed Jack's hand. "I won't." Jack smirked weakly. "You better not. Because I look terrible. And I'm blaming you." The group gathered around him. Lily hugged TJ from behind. Sophie collapsed into Alex again. Mara wiped her eyes openly. Aaron exhaled for the first time since entering the colony. They survived. All of them. TJ looked at the crater one last time. The forest was still. Quiet. "Dead," he whispered. "You don't own me." And Lily whispered into his ear. "You're free." End of Chapter 10, Part 1. Chapter 10, The Man Who Walks Out Alive. Part 2, Epilogue, What Survives a God's Funeral. 1. The Rescue. By dawn, the forest swarmed with search and rescue, paramedics, and state authorities. Helicopters circled the collapsed zone. Drones scanned the crater. Floodlights stabbed through smoke rising from the earth like breath from a dying beast. The official story was ridiculous. Team trapped during a geological event. Massive sinkhole collapsed. But none of the survivors corrected them. How could they? What were they supposed to say? A sentient, ancient organic colony tried to rewrite our minds. Yeah. Good luck with that. Paramedics rushed toward the group. Bodies were lifted onto stretchers. 4 lines inserted. Neck braces applied. Jack, barely conscious, groaned as paramedics checked his vitals. "TJ," he croaked. TJ pushed through the medic swarm. "I'm here." Jack forced a smirk. "You look worse than me." TJ huffed. "Shut up." Jack's eyes softened. "Glad you made it." Those 4 words hit TJ harder than the core ever did. Because they were real. 2. Hospital, 48 hours later. Room 304. Soft beeping monitors. White sheets. Bandages. The distant smell of antiseptic. The kind of silence that feels earned. TJ woke to Lily sitting beside him, head resting on his arm, asleep. Her hair messy. Her face tired. Her entire body slumped against his bed. Like she refused to sleep unless touching him. TJ moved his fingers gently through her hair. She stirred awake immediately. "TJ." He smiled weakly. "Still here." Lily exhaled sharply, a shaky, relieved breath, and leaned down, pressing her forehead to his chest. "You scared the hell out of me." He stroked her back slowly. "You held on to me when everything else tried to pull me away," she whispered. "I'm never letting go." TJ didn't say. Good. He didn't need to. He just held her. 3. The team. Jack had 2 broken ribs, a fractured arm, and root burns down his side. Aaron suffered heavy bruising and a dislocated shoulder. Ryan needed stitches on his legs. Mira had a concussion and cracked ribs. Alex had deep bruising from shielding Sophie. Sophie had severe shock trauma but no major injuries. Every doctor said the same thing. It's a miracle nobody died. The team knew better. It wasn't a miracle. It was war. For the truth. That night, the team sat together in a quiet conference room with lights dimmed. No doctors. No officials. Just them. No more lies. No more deflection. Just truth. Aaron looked at TJ. His voice was low, serious. You killed that thing. TJ nodded. Ryan added. And saved all of us. That wasn't luck. Mira leaned forward. Her voice was steady, observant, sharp. TJ. You do understand what that means, right? TJ swallowed. Lily squeezed his hand. Jack sat upright with difficulty. It means, Jack said, you chose who you are. Not the colony. Not the past. Not whatever twisted shit made you. Jack pointed at TJ's chest. You. You chose you. TJ looked down. Silent. Lily whispered. You broke something ancient and chose to be human instead. Mira nodded. And we believe you are. TJ looked up at all of them. All these people who saw him break, scream, bleed, and still stand up again. His voice cracked slightly. I don't know what I am. Lily leaned closer. That's the point. You get to decide now. Ryan smirked. Just don't decide to walk back into any more hellholes. Alex added. And maybe don't piss off any more ancient colonies. Sophie whispered softly. You're one of us. That's enough. Jack grinned weakly. Yeah. And if the world ever comes after you, we'll stand with you. TJ blinked hard. Because it hit him. He wasn't a rewrite. He wasn't a mistake. He wasn't a shadow. He was a person. Chosen. Recognized. Accepted. Alive. 5. The final scene, 1 week later. TJ stood at the edge of the crater where the colony once stretched for miles underground. Morning light spilled over the ruined earth. No more roots. No pulsating walls. No voices in his head. Just soil. Wind. Trees. Freedom. Lily stepped beside him, hands in her jacket pockets, hair drifting in the breeze. You okay standing here? TJ nodded. I needed to see it. See it dead? TJ shook his head. See me. Lily turned to look at him. What do you see? TJ stared at the crater. At the nothingness. At the silence. At the proof that the colony no longer owned him. I see someone who survived something that tried to erase him. He took a breath. I see someone who isn't a memory someone else built. Another breath. And I see someone who's choosing who he wants to be. Lily smiled softly. And who's that? TJ turned to her. Held her hand. Someone who walks out. Alive. Real. Mine. Lily stepped closer, forehead to his. You're not alone anymore. TJ kissed her. Not desperate, not frantic. But steady. Certain. A promise. When they pulled apart, TJ looked down at the crater one last time. He whispered, You don't own me. And walked away with Lily, leaving the dead colony behind forever. The end.